In certain extreme situations, the law is inadequate. In order to shame its inadequacy, it is necessary to act outside the law, to pursue natural justice. This is not vengeance. Revenge is not a valid motive, it's an emotional response. No, not vengeance. Punishment.
Tonight we have a chance to say, yeah, you're right. We're too extreme, we're too wild, we're too out of control, we're too full of our own shit. Or we have a chance to say, hey, fuck you, you're wrong. Fuck you, we're right. Because you have all made it to the dance. Because believe me, this is the dance. Start the show.
Remind me the next time I have dental work done in the early afternoon to call off the evening show that night. I've had one other root canal in my life, and I was like 15 or 16 years old. I broke my teeth in a game of basketball. I've told this story. And I had to have a root canal on this one so they could clear it all out. And then they could, and then what they did was they capped it. I don't remember it hurting this fucking bad. And I'm sure I'm being a pussy. I'm sure I'm being a bitch. 100%. But like the Novocaine started wearing off. I was out of there at, ironically, a little after 2:30. I remember that made me laugh. And I was, Rocky Balboa, I was puffy and Novocaine, by the way, not nitrous. Some people like it more than others. I don't have a want for it. But I know some people who would hear I'm getting nitrous at the dentist and they'd go, lucky. I did the Novocaine. I kept it old school. You can't feel a thing. I don't mind Novocaine. I've only done nitrous once. It was to have 2 wisdom teeth removed up here. Not that bad. I don't mind the Novocaine. You don't feel anything. The only thing is my jaw was killing me having it open for an hour and a half. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. I don't mind those jokes tonight. I do need to laugh. But right around 4 o'clock today, and I prepped early. As soon as I got home and I was still numb, I was like, I feel good. I feel okay. $1,300 dental bill aside. I feel, and that, by the way, I want to point out, I think dental insurance might be the biggest scam out there. I have good dental insurance. I have Delta Dental here in Minnesota. It's good. What my parents had when I was growing up. Dental insurance is a fucking scam. There was a guy ahead of me, probably about 5 years younger than I am. And he was going in for something, and I overheard the conversation as I'm behind him in line. I'm going to turn in my paperwork. And she said, okay, you don't have dental coverage, so we're going to take 10% off your bill. I'm like, motherfucker. Are you kidding? So I'm going to pay my premium every month. And dental insurance isn't like medical insurance. Medical insurance, you get to a deductible, and then they really start covering shit. You spend a shitload of money, and that's where the medical health insurance scam is you got to spend, I don't know, what is it now, between $2,000, $5,000, and $10,000, depending on what level plan you have. It's like $1,500, $5,000, and $10,000, I think. I haven't checked mine. I've gone for physicals once a year. That's it. Thank God I haven't had anything that's needed to threaten that deductible. In fact, the only time I've ever used a deductible with health insurance is when I was on a group plan and I had children. And that wasn't me, that was my wife at the time would have the kid, and it still costs you a fortune. But like with medical insurance, it's a scam the other way where you get to your $5,000, then they'll start really covering shit. In dental insurance, you have a smaller deductible, and once you run up that deductible, you're basically on your own. So like with this root canal, you go in there and I got the itemized bill, a root canal. Never have these done, by the way. If you can, rip the fucking tooth out of your head. It's like $400 to get put under and have a tooth ripped out. Before insurance kicks in, it was $2,600 or $2,800, somewhere around there, somewhere between $2,500 and $3,000 for a root canal. And I didn't even have the cap done. The cap is going to be another, I think, $1,000 to $1,500 out the door. That's what I'm getting to here with dental insurance. I've used up my dental insurance now. They covered about $858 of it. They're supposed to cover up to $1,000. My deductible's $1,000. I'm guessing there was something in there they don't cover. I don't know, the 3D scan. There's always something that they fucking flake out on you for. But my deductible is $1,000, which was always enough for me because I never really had to have much but cleanings and fillings done. So I had the root canal done. $1,300 out of pocket. And again, that's with insurance. So when you figure my deductible all year, and then you figure the $1,300 for the root canal, I wonder, I probably would have been better off being that other guy who had no insurance, doesn't pay a premium. He came in, let's say he had a root canal. He would have had to pay the $2,500, but they gave him like a 10 or 15% discount for not having insurance. So that's going to end up being between $2,000 and $2,200. And I bet you if I do the math, yeah, because I probably pay more than $900 a year in dental insurance premiums, I probably would have been better off. Nah, because then he would have had to have the cap done, and that's going to be Nah, you're still probably better off with coverage. But it really does feel like a scam and a hustle because, like, why can't I get that guy's 10 or 15% off? So me having insurance, that's the part that feels like a ripoff. I have the insurance, so you charge me an extra 15%. Yeah, my dental covers $850 of it, but you added another $250 to it. So how much am I really getting? Why can't you give me that guy's price? And then also the insurance covers it. I don't like it, but honestly, tooth pain is one of the worst things in the world to live with. So get your work done, bite the bullet, get it done. Brace yourself. I got to brace myself because I got another one coming when I get it capped. The having them pulled, I don't mind that. I got another one that's a problem. And they said, well, we can root canal that one too. And I start adding it up in my head, and I'm like, I think we should probably just yank that fucker because it's way in the back, and I don't fucking need it. So I think I'm just going to have that one. Yanking that one and implanting is probably better than fucking root canaling and capping. I don't know. Either way. So I'm doing something tonight to build goodwill with the audience, especially the evening show audience. And to show that there are disgusting, drama-filled grifters out there. And then there's a real broadcaster talk show host like Steel Toe. I'm dropping the thing I'm not allowed to talk about for another 2 hours or whatever significantly tonight for two reasons. One, I hate it when these guys get something done to themselves and then they expect their audience to pay for it. No. The G words and the memberships that you guys hit during the week, that's what the money is for. So I can go get my teeth. You don't ask your audience for money and then ask them for more when you need the teeth done. No, the money they're giving you now is for your teeth and your food and for everything else. I hate it when people ask their audience for money, then they get something else done, and then they go, well, I had this done, so give me more. No. We're going to do the opposite. We're going to drop it down when I have something really expensive to do. Because if I can come on here and have this freedom to bitch about this dental thing, then obviously that word ought to come down. The other thing is, I know I'm in a lot of pain, and I know I handle pain like a bitch. I know I handle dental pain like a super bitch. So I know I'm not going to be at my best tonight. So a certain something comes down. I think it's only fair. So thank you guys. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. If you see me wincing, don't worry. I'm just being a bitch. Once the Novocaine all wore off, this really fucking sucks. And apparently it's supposed to suck for like 3 to 5 days. And again, I've never had one of these done on a back tooth, but 3 to 5 days, that sounds fucking awful, to be honest. Salvatore with $5 says Mersh is not a tall guy, and he's apparently feuding with that lady from PAS. Didn't he see what she did to Lil Beaver at WrestleMania 3? That was King Kong Bundy. How dare you? How dare you? Well, no, that's all put on because Aaron beat them all. Aaron's now doing his show. Aaron's making his audience happy. We just got our Rumble Creator Program payout. Aaron's growing on Rumble. Steel Toe's doing great. They couldn't put a dent in the toe. Probably made me more fans than anything. But now they're also realizing the toe is the only box office we had. We have to make something up. And now they have to create dramas. Nobody gives. It's also a way for Mersh to remind you that he has a girlfriend. He's very excited about it. It's actually cute. It's cute to see a 45-year-old man be like, and I have a girlfriend and girlfriend. Look, I'm divorced twice. I'm with a woman I love very much. But I'm not going to sit here and, fucking white knight every second of my foot. Blah. By the way, guys, again, all these internet people not learning from my beats, definitely involve her in the universe you're in. It's a great idea. It works out. Especially the world Mersh had to grift in now to pay for his car. The world he had to grift into now, it's like going into the jungle in Training Day where he says, and don't you wear that wedding ring to the office. These animals see you with it out here. They'll use that shit against you. They're scum. Mersh, don't tell people what you love. That's the thing they're going to go after. And the other thing is, all those Dabbleverse people, they're all really sad guys who don't touch titties. So a four like Haley, they love her. They simp for her constantly. They're mentally retarded. You know this. They're not going to be on your side. They're going to hate you because they think they can get a shot with Haley. And she does. She DMs with all these guys. Like she DMs. She's a married woman, but why do you think none of her relationships have worked? Why do you think she has so many baby daddies? She's DMing with all these guys. She's one of these pick-me's who really, really, really can't get over the attention. So you're not going to win that one, pal. But hey, you have my endorsement. I'm with you, but I don't know if the rest of them will be. I get it. I hear you. Redbird with $5 says you could but no, she is not King Kong Bundy, Salvatore M. That's a different person. Redbird with $5 says you could take the cheap option and not stuff your face with half your body weight in sugar on a monthly basis, especially with bad teeth. Well, look, he ain't wrong. I mean, we're certainly not going to give Redbird shit on that one because the guy kind of nailed it. He's right. I don't eat well, and I have bad enamel. I have weak enamel on top of it. So, yeah, that's not going to work out for you in the long run. Oh, by the way, Jesse P.S. from Pod Awful has a Mersh show on tonight. So we're probably going to be doing dog shit numbers. Maybe not on Rumble, but on YouTube, certainly. Jesse's doing his great Mersh reveal this evening. Joey Caravello with $2 says, remember the movie Flight of the Navigator? Sarah Jessica Parker is a hottie in that. You might be right. But you also said today that Johnny was shoving something up his ass during his show today, or he was naked shoving something up his ass. I don't know. You Need Me More says, advice for later, 3 Advil and a heating pad or hot compress. I did take 4 Advil before the show tonight. So that'll dull it. At least. MSO says SP covered the G word this morning. No, it was main vein. We gave him a discounted VIP because I hate losing that much. We had it down to like $50. I could have just taken a $50 L and been like, what do you do? Win some, lose some. And instead, main vein's like, hey, give me a discount on that VIP package. So I think I have to honor that for the rest of the week. So I am honoring the $150 VIP price. To be a VIP, it's $150 for the rest of the week. It's usually $250. I'm going to honor the $150 price just for this week since I offered it to Main Vein. It's only fair. Oh, MSO's conspiracy theory is Main Vein is SP. SP would not give... If SP, I don't think she would, but if she ever did, I would give it right the fuck back. No way. That would mean it's over. That would mean it's over. TJ Fisher with 199 says, do you think Maduro will cut a deal with the feds? I don't know what he's supposed to be charged with. I don't know what it is Maduro did that any other world leader hasn't done. How about the fucking balls on us that Maduro can be arrested for some trumped up bullshit, pardon the pun, but Benjamin Netanyahu can't get arrested? It's just like, people used to say, if you look deep into this shit, none of it makes sense. Fuck, if you look at it on the surface before you even dive in, it doesn't make any sense. It's all horseshit. I mean, the Maduro thing is oil and Hamas and Hezbollah. That's all it is. Narco-terrorism. I mean, really? Another word they just made up so that we can have more wars. There's a marketing department at Raytheon and Boeing that just come up with these words and go, hey, they're $38 trillion in debt. I really hope they don't cut the military budget. That could really cut into our bottom line. We got to think of something. Oh, all the fentanyl and the drugs that are getting into the country? Yeah. Why don't we call that narco-terrorism and convince our friends in the government to overthrow, other world leaders of sovereign nations? Yeah, but Trump said that he's going to secure the border. If the border is secure, then those drugs can't get in. We don't need to overthrow countries. We'll just have secure borders. Nah, call it narco-terrorism. Do you think the American people are still fucking stupid enough to fall for the T word after all these years and all these trillions of dollars in debt? Are you kidding? Just tell them Somalis are the ones robbing them blind and we'll be able to get away with it like always. And that's what they did. They told you Somalis are robbing you blind. And don't get me wrong, they're a fucking problem here in Minnesota. But they ain't the problem. These robber barons have been reaching into your back pocket, squeezing your tit, and getting them both nice and dry, taking all your milk and all your money, your milk money, if you will. Oh, look at the Somalis over here. Aren't these Somalis pieces of shit? Oh, look at the Somalis. War, narco-terrorism, overthrowing countries, doing Israel's bidding. Yeah, Muslims and Somalis. Kind of looks like I was holding a cock. Little bit. $2 from Loaded Wrench says, I'm seeing that this was about voting machines. Well, Tucker Carlson says it was about homos. So who the hell knows, right? What is it ever really about? Usually oil or Jews. That's usually what it's about. Oh, by the way, speaking of Jews, I found that, which is what people don't think we talk about enough on this show. I found this Twitter account of a guy that clips Nick Fuentes stuff. And it's Nick Fuentes taking super chats that he thinks are retarded from his fans and just yelling at them. Like, there's a couple of them. There's one. I'll show them to you here in a second. But it's all of his fans who are like, hey, man, how do I get these people in my life woke on the JQ, which is the Jewish question? And Nick Fuentes is like, fucking don't. Like, he gets frustrated. And I feel that so much because I'll talk about stuff on my show. And I'll run into people at the store. I'll run into people in public who are fans of the show. And they'll tell me, they'll be like, yeah, this thing that you said about this, you're right. It's this, that, and this. And I'm like, motherfucker, I never said that. That you took a position I took and then extrapolated it, put it into your feelings, and came up with a new take, which is great. That's how you know you're doing a good job as a host. You're getting people to think. I'm all for that. But don't make me own your ideas. And don't get mad at me when I reject those ideas, because I'll probably like the next one you throw my way. It's all a conversation. It's all a conversation. Oh, by the way, 95 memberships away from 500. I don't think we're going to get there tonight. I don't think we're going to get there tonight, but I just wanted to let you know that we're 95 memberships away from 500. We're getting back at it. Lance, I love Lance. I think he's great. He says, as a somewhat of an expert on the subject, what are your thoughts of Gino sending Meade photos of Keanu that would show Scarlett, that he would show Scarlett to try and get something going between them? Gino sending Matt Meade photos of Keanu. I mean, obviously, you know my position. Don't be sending fucking photos around. And if you do, tell the person that you sent them to shut the fuck up about it. Number one, don't fucking send them. Number one, don't send them. Number two, once everyone knows about it and you're not supposed to talk about it anymore, shut the fuck up. No, I think it's a terrible idea. Don't do that. I've encouraged everyone in the world, learn from me. I did stupid, retarded shit. Did it get overblown? Of course. Was it about what it was about? Probably not. But learn from me. I did stupid shit. Even if it wasn't the gun that people made people believe it was, don't give them the ammunition in the first place. You can't complain that you're being wrongfully hanged for something when you handed them the rope. It's a bad idea, bad form. So yeah, if Gino did that, shh. Let's not. Especially if it's Gino and Keanu related, right? Which, by the way, I don't know if they did that. I'm sure that's not true. I'm sure that's people fucking around. I mean, I know this from experience. Whenever the social misfits that make up the Dabbleverse, which, by the way, we laugh at your expense far more than you laugh at ours, trust me. Anytime they predict something about people, I can say 98.8% of the time they're wrong, and the 1.2% they are right, it's usually accidental or shit people already know. I think they are probably the most misinformed group of people, and that includes MSNBC viewers. Oh, and I'm sorry, MS Now. All right, let's get into some shit tonight. Like I said, I'm not feeling the best after the Root Canal, but I think we're going to get you a good enough show. I really do. I think we're going to get you a good enough one. So go ahead and fire in a membership or two. Fire up a PayPal, a Streamlabs, a Venmo, a Super Chat, a Rumble Rant. Click the link. And let's have ourselves a fun show with a good flow to it. I appreciate it. Redbird with $5 says, your ability to pick the biggest scumbag in the room without fail to become friends with is flawless. Take that as a compliment, right? Is that how he intended it, as a compliment, right? By the way, that's 15 from Redbird. That puts him at 39. It's just about back in the top 5 here. There we go. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. So the first, Fuentes, those Fuentes clips that I saw today. I got to show you guys these. It was 2 guys who sent him each like $100. Well, the first guy sent him 15. The second guy sent him $100. And they're one of those text to talk super chats. And they're asking Nick, because Nick is very critical of Israel and Nick is very critical of Zionism. And I would say Nick's way further out there than I am with Jewish stuff. Like I've said before, Jews as individuals, I don't mind. I've met Jews. I've gotten along with Jews. I've hung out with Jews. I've dined and drank with Jews. As individuals, I don't find them good, bad, or indifferent. They're individuals. Zionists who are involved in business and politics scare the shit out of me, not because of who they are or what they are, but because of the things they've done and the patterns they've created and the way they interfere on things that affect my life. So we're talking about groups, not individuals. I think Nick is at the point now where even the individuals, he's kind of, ugh. But Nick's also pretty smart about it. Nick has, as weird as this sounds, as much as he dislikes Jews, he's better about it optically than most people on the internet are. Most people are like, fucking Jews, the horns and the shit. And you can't talk to them. I mean, they're just gone. But Nick has corralled a group of fans who can sometimes be really stupid about Jew shit. And Nick does a very good job of being the lion tamer, of being the guy with, Hassan with the shot collar on the dog. By the way, Alex Stein's latest video at the town hall. If you know, you know. It's funny as fuck. Go watch it. I laughed my ass off when I watched it. More great work by Alex Stein. But Nick Fuentes has this way of when his audience gets out of pocket, he's good at reeling them in. And I've got 2 clips of this that I just thought were hilarious today.
Dude, we have so many to read still.
I just graduated from college last year and currently work as an 8th grade history teacher. How can I subtly red pill them, particularly on the Holocaust?
Don't freak.
I'm an 8th grade teacher. How do I red pill my students on the Holocaust? Don't. We're not doing that. Now, I think Nick has a far more out there idea of the Holocaust than I do. I tend to think the Holocaust happened. I tend to think, did 6 million people die? Probably. I don't know how. I don't think they gassed them all. One thing that Holocaust deniers use is this faulty logic where they go, in order to kill that many, you'd have to gas this many. Well, they didn't gas all of them. I mean, some of them they worked to death. Some of them they plain shots. A lot of them died of disease, starvation. It's hard to feed that many people when you're fighting a war on 2 fronts. So it wasn't like 6 million Jews were gassed in the Holocaust. I do believe that 6 million people died in those camps over the course of 5-6 years. But anyway, these people will ask Nick questions like, hey, I work a regular job. How do I take my feelings about Judaism, global Jewry, and put it into my job? And Nick's like, you fucking retard. And this is coming from a guy who can't do banking because of his thoughts on the matter. So he's trying to help you. Nick's a lot like me. He's trying to take his bad beats and give you the shortcuts.
Don't freak. Just don't. I teach 8th grade. How can I red pill my students on the Holocaust? Don't. Better yet, get a different job. Who would want to go to school where they're social studies teachers trying to subtly red pill them? It's 12 years old. Oh, my history teacher's really making me think about whether the Holocaust actually happened.
Right?
Dude, you are going to ruin your own life. It's not worth trying to red pill 8th graders. I assure you they don't care that much. That's crazy. How do I subtly red pill 12-year-olds? Dude.
And aren't these from the same people who are like, we got to get these trans people and shit out of our schools because they're going to brainwash our kids? And then in the same breath, how do I red pill these 12-year-olds on the Holocaust? Don't! Let them be innocent. I don't even know if they need to be learning that much about the Holocaust at 12 years old. It's not that applicable today, except with Gaza and the West Bank and any other land Israel's ever occupied. But we don't need to do that to 12-year-olds. I didn't start thinking about any of this stuff or reading about the Middle East and the formation of Israel. I'm a history guy, and I didn't start really getting into it until I was well into my 30s. So yeah, not for 12th graders. And these are Nick's fans. They're like, I'm an 8th grade teacher. Yeah, no. By the way, thank you very much to No Pen 15 Fathead. $2. He says, when is the Zach X sparring match? Zach did reach out to me. Zach X is a social media influencer guy, a small-time guy here in St. Cloud. He did reach out to me. We are going to do it. He said that he's hurt. He's injured right now. I told him, heal up. Let me know when you're better. I said, I'm, regardless of the fact that I'm a little over where I should be weight-wise, I am training regularly. So I told him, get healthy. Let me know when you're ready, and we'll put something together. We could do it amateur, but I think it would be a lot easier to do it professionally to get it. It is fucked up, but there's a lot less regulation around organizing these things as like professional exhibitions versus amateur fights. There's just way too many regulations on amateur fights. Like professional exhibitions are a lot easier to put together. So Zach and I are talking, and I'm very excited to put that together. He actually is pretty easy to do business with. Alpha Shane, it's amazing. Like none of these other people who have said they would box me have ever been serious. They run, they're afraid, they're scared. Zach is the only one who's actually contacted me and wanted to actually do it. These other guys, I mean, all these guys, Melton, all the other ones, they pissed their pants and then they tried to, posture about it. I knew they would never do it. I knew Ralph wouldn't do it. I'd hurt these guys. Alpha Shane with $5 says, thankfully you have thousands watching on Rumble. What were the numbers last month? I think it was another 50 some odd thousand unique viewers on Rumble and about 250,000 views on Rumble last month. So thank you. The YouTube numbers stink. Thank God, right? Because we get paid to be on Rumble. There's a creator program and they just give us money every month. And it's in I will say it's in the four figures. It's allowed us to drop our you-know-whats and hire people and everything else. I'm very happy Rumble exists. You don't want to be on just YouTube. YouTube has everybody bitches about YouTube. Once you get a strike, they throttle you, and we've been throttled forever. And now I see all these people like, yeah, I'm getting strikes, and this person's striking me, and that person's striking me. And now their AI just confirms the strikes in 2 minutes. So Rumble is, if you're a good content creator, if you have an interesting show, you can build an audience anywhere. If you need YouTube, it's probably because you need drama and you need the pool of people who want to watch drama. If you do a good show, people will find you. And that's what we've done on Rumble, is people have found us. He goes, thank God YouTube isn't a big platform. I'd always rather be a big fish in a little pond than the opposite. I mean, every morning on Rumble in the podcast and politics section, we're in the top 5 on a good day, top 10 on a bad day. So I love that shit. And the fact that YouTube, we can still rip money out of the YouTube machine, I love that. Give people memberships. We got a members only show on YouTube coming up on Thursday. We're going to check out Coop's Erica Kirk stuff. So absolutely gift memberships on YouTube. We love that. TJ Fisher with $4.99 said the death toll rose to 80 civilians and military personnel in Venezuela after the attack. Why are people cheering for killed civilians? Yeah, I don't know, and I don't like it, but I'm in the minority. I'm in the minority. I really am. Actual steel toe wearer and Rusty Grammar says, what are unique viewers? Individual people, like individual IPs, ISPs or whatever. You have your views, and then you have unique viewers. That's like in a 30-day period, how many different human beings. That's an important number to me, because I feel like, especially when you look at those smaller communities that we buried and left in the dust, I feel like there are 2,000 people max in that, and they're all watching the same shit. Like, you can look at places that have more quote-unquote views, but they don't have more unique viewers than we do. And we've proven this actually multiple times. That they'll have, oh my God, Steel Toe has 700 or 800 watching at a time. We have 900. Yeah, but if you go into your unique viewers every month, it's like 5,000 people. You don't, like, we have a show that's easily digestible. You can come in, you can come out. I guarantee you take a DV show that has 900 or 1,000 viewers at a time, and you take ours that has 700 at a time, throughout the course of that day, more people are funneling through watching it. 1,000%. And I'm sorry, that's going to cause a lot of you to cope. Don't let it. It's just from my experience in broadcasting. It's just the way it is, man. It's just the way it is. Not a competition. Do your best. Can't help that I'm better than people. So then the other one, okay, I did twist the knife. All right. They asked, in fairness, So then Nick Fuentes you guys are making my tooth feel better. I am not noticing the pain quite as much. Thank you for the $5 at a time. I appreciate it. Let's keep that vibe rolling. So then another guy who's in the military decided that he would ask Nick Fuentes, hey, Nick, how do I red pill my sergeant on the JQ? I'm in the military. How do I talk to my sergeant about Jews? And Nick loses it on this guy, and this guy gave him $100.
Patriot Noticer sent $100. Hey dude, just started watching and love the show. 32-year-old capable guy here. Joined Army Infantry when Trump banned gay and trans in the military. Am thinking about trying to help the cause and want to ask how I should go about red pilling my drill sergeant on the JQ.
Oh my gosh.
If I can get my higher ups to start noticing, maybe there can be a shift in the military.
So the JQ is what they call the Jewish question. How do I red pill my drill sergeant on the Jewish question? If I get my higher ups to start noticing, maybe there can be a change. This is what Nick has to deal with in his audience.
Be a shift in the military.
No, do not do that. You're just going to put yourself on like a terrorist watch list. Thank you for the big super chat, but what is wrong with you? I'm going to tell the military. That's like telling your boss that your boss sucks. I hate my boss. I'm going to tell my boss. Maybe they'll change. They run the military, idiot. Like, I'm going to red pill the military. Dude, that's like red pilling the cops on the war on drugs. Hey, man, I got a bag of drugs, but it's totally cool. Like, you can't do that. It doesn't work that way. Thank you for the big super chat, though, but that's a terrible idea. Maybe you should be a mechanic or something.
Mitch 426.
You should definitely find a new gig if you're a teacher or you're in the military and you want to talk about Jews all fucking day. Here's what I would say. Don't get a new job. Learn to cool it on the Jew shit every once in a while. Like, you know how many times? You have any idea how many times I will like be in conversations with my relatives at family events? Now that I dropped April, I can actually see my family. It's nice. But I'll be like with my aunts and uncles and my mom and dad and my cousins, and we'll be talking about shit that's going on in the world. And people turn to me, like I have a show, and they'll be like, well, what do you talk about on your show? What's your thing? And they'll get into like, I'll find an example here. Something that Israel's kind of involved in, like, oh yeah, Iran. You know, Iran might be developing nukes. And I'll be like, no, they're not. And they're like, what? What do you mean, no, they're not? And I'll tell them. And I'll look at my dad sometimes because he knows, because I've talked to my dad about this. I'm like, I don't want to. And he'll be like, yeah, no. Because he's like, yeah, they'll just call you racist if you say that. I'm like, thank you. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I'll try to talk about the Vikings and shit because I'm like, I don't want to. Because it's exhausting. Like, I don't want to talk about Israel. Like, I had one guy one time, he goes, Aaron, why does it all come back to Israel with you? I'm like, exactly. Why does it always come back to them? Ask yourself that and do some Googling. They always say that. They go, with you. Why does it come back to Israel with you? It doesn't come back to Israel with me. It comes back to Israel when I pull at threads and see where they're coming from. So I don't like to talk about it in my private. Like, I talk about it on this show. I don't want to talk about it with friends and family. I want to talk about retarded shit, distractions. You know, how are the Vikings going to do? John Harbaugh got fired by the Ravens today. That was fucking insane. The guy's a Super Bowl champion. And he got fired by the Ravens because they lost to the Steelers. Also because I think Lamar Jackson doesn't want him anymore, and I think it was either him or me. And they chose Lamar Jackson over Harbaugh. But I don't, I want to talk about Raw last night. I want to talk about Randy Orton getting a title. I want to go to the Y and play basketball. I don't want to talk about. So, like, when Nick Fuentes tells all these people, like, don't go to work and start red pilling people on the JQ. Number one, they're going to think you're nuts because they haven't looked into it. Number two, you're going to get in trouble at work. And number three, you're not going to have any friends. Okay? So just don't. Sam Show loves Jewish dick, says you hit it right on the head, Aaron. It's not a competition. You just do your thing. You're not better or worse than anyone. It's your fucking show. If people like it, you make money off it. Good for you. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I see all these people beefing and feuding with each other and like, my show is better than your show. like if I were to do this with people and I were to go, my show has 750 people watching it in the morning. Yours has 650. Mine's better than yours. No, mine's probably the same level of shittiness. And I've got news for you. If you have between 500 and 1,500 live viewers, you all have the same size audience, really. I mean, when it comes down to it, think of numbers. Think of the amount of people of humanity. Like if Ethan Klein gets 30,000 people watching him at a time, does he notice if 500 leave? Does he notice if 1,000 leave? No, he doesn't. He doesn't notice if 1,000 people leave. Your audience size, my audience size, your audience size is inconsequential. It's if it's 0 to 400, and you're talking about somebody who has 1,000, there's a little bit of a difference, not much. But if it's 500 to 1,500, you guys have the same size audience. We're equally irrelevant. Lander says, don't worry, Dan Bongino will save us. I saw that Rumble, and I love Rumble, and I think Chris and Siraj and all these guys, I think they do great work. But I saw that they were promoting the return of Dan Bongino, and I'd like to talk to Chris. I've emailed with Siraj, but I've never spoken to Chris. I would like to talk to those guys and be like, just prepare yourselves. Bongino's going to get a lot of shit. He's not going to be hailed as this conquering hero from a lot of his audience. A lot of his audience is going to see him as a guy who betrayed them, who promised them a certain thing and didn't deliver. And we're going to go over this, I believe, on tomorrow's show. The Dan Bongino from 2023 and the Dan Bongino now. Now he's like all in with Trump, and he's defending everything he did at the Department of Justice, even though before he got in there, he said he was going to release all the Epstein files. Rumble, the Dan Bongino that's coming back to Rumble is not the Dan Bongino that left, because whether it's Aaron from Steel Toe or it's Dan Bongino, like from the bottom of the pile to the top of the pile, we're not human beings. We're brands. We're entertainment vehicles. And the Dan Bongino, the brand of Dan Bongino that will be going on the air tomorrow is not the Dan Bongino that left his mic behind when he joined the Trump administration. People don't see him the same way. So I know they're excited. I know they're going to play it up. It will get them views. Look, it's good to have Dan Bongino on the platform as a Rumble guy and as a guy who thinks Rumble has treated us like better than we deserve, bigger than the size show we are, but it's nice to be wanted and noticed. I want guys who draw eyeball. I'm glad I'm on the platform that hosts the most popular news podcast in the world. I'm glad that I'm on that platform with Nick Fuentes. Dan Bongino coming back is only going to draw eyeballs to this thing. I'm not the biggest Crowder guy in the world, although I think he's gotten better since he got divorced. He doesn't try to be this squeaky clean conservative guy. I like that he's got a little, anybody who gets a little dirt on him, I can trust him. But I'm not a big Crowder guy, but he brings eyeballs to the product. I think that's good. Nick Fuentes, Dan Bongino, Russell Brand, like all these guys. Well, Bubba the Love Sponge. By the way, where's Bubba been? Bubba doesn't show up on my Rumble anymore. Did he just take time off for the holidays? Because the Bubba Army. When was their last? He used to pop up on my front page all the time. One day ago. Oh, weird. His last show before he came back 20 days ago did 37,000 views, and now the one he did on Monday did 8.4 thousand views on Rumble. 8.4 thousand views. That's not much more than what we do on a morning show on Rumble. Oh. And we're on, 4 or 5 platforms? This ain't good. Hold on a minute. Let me take a look at our shit. Let me take a look at our bullshit. Let's take a look at last week. Let's take one. 6.8 thousand. So about 7,000. We do about 7,000 views in the morning. 6.96, 6.97, 6.94. Okay. So about, God, that's not that much less than Bubba. Fuck. Are they fucking with Bubba? What's the deal? Well, anyway, So I'm glad that Bongino's going to be back. It's good for the brand. It's good for Rumble. I'm excited about it. I just don't think he's going to get the big welcome back that they expect him to get. Atomic Ray says, Bubba was having problems with streaming on Rumble. Being in Florida and Hogan is dead, he is probably Jewing Rumble. Good for him. Oh. I don't keep up with the show, but I'm always rooting for Bubba. I like him. 256 of you watching the show, right? You know what? Not bad. Thank you. YouTube, pick it up just a little bit. Honestly, if we get YouTube growing by about 30 more, we get Rumble growing by about 25 more, that's over 300. I'm happy if the evening show goes that route. That would make me happy. So thank you, guys. Hit like, hit subscribe, and hit follow. Red Fox Mad with $5. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Red. He says, let's fucking go. Everyone gift a subscription and send in a Rumble rant. Aaron loves the dentist. Aaron, the prostate exam is not part of your dental exam. I fucking knew it. I knew it. I told them that wasn't what they were supposed to do, but they insisted. That's why it was so much more expensive. Also, another thing about the dent, like, does the dentist do anything anymore? Like, do they just do like cleanings and fillings and that's all a dentist does? Because in my day, my dentist did my root canals. I had to go to an endodontist today. I've had a root canal done before. I didn't go to an endodontist. I was, Dr. Thompson. Dr. Thompson was my doctor when I was a kid. He was my dentist. And Dr. Thompson at Park Dental Blaine, he would do all of my dental work. So what's the deal? I've never been to an endodontist in my life. We can tell. Shut up. And now, if I want to have this one yanked out instead of root canaled, I got to go to an oral surgeon, not an endodontist, not a dentist. There's like 15 different fucking people now. When I was a kid, there was a dentist and there was an orthodontist if you had to get braces. And now there's like 50,000 different things. 09 Canyon says it was my hygienist who filled my cavity last time. Yeah, I don't know. No, they did not. No, they didn't put their dick in my mouth when they were done. Although I will admit some sexism. I had a male endodontist and I felt like I was in better hands. That's so bad. Like, my last few dentists have been women. Only one of them was bad. And they're also, like, in a weird way, nicer, the female dentist. But like, there's something about the let's get down to brass tacks business about a guy dentist that, you know what? It's just, I have these conversations with SP too, where I like try to work through, instead of like saying something that's really bloviating, like, yeah, I'm just glad I had a male dentist. Like, I try to explain my feelings on it, and I'll get like halfway through my feelings and I'll see the look on her face and I'll just go, I'm just being sexist, aren't I? She's like, yeah, you got a problem with women. I'm like, I don't mean to. I just appreciate, like, isn't that supposed to be a thing with women? Like, they'd rather be interrogated by a female officer, or they'd rather have a female OB or whatever. I'd rather have a male dentist. I don't think, and again, it's not because I think the female ones are incompetent. I just think that I feel more comfortable. See, this is the part in the conversation with my girlfriend, sorry, Mersh, where I go, I'm just sexist, aren't I? And that's where it ends. TDR Shit Show with $2 says, of course they are doing that now. More money. See, I don't want to be that guy, but it feels that way. You know? Feels that way. Atomic Ray saying I have too much testosterone. That's causing my cavities. You know what? I'm going to go with that. Wally World gifting 5 memberships. Thank you, pal.
Wanna fuck? Let's fuck!
It's an honest question, man. It's an honest question. Thank you guys very much for those 5 gifted memberships. That's very sweet of you. 90 away from 500 memberships. Thank you. And again, I mentioned how much the endodontist appointment was. And I mentioned that my tooth hurts. And I'm probably not as on my game as I usually am. That's why there's a certain something today that I made lower. Because I hate it when these grifting streamers tell you how much something was. You should give me donos. No, less tonight. Less. Because of that. Because I don't feel I'm giving you my A game. Strippers got me banned. Actual steel toe wearer. Mikey 2 Milks. All getting memberships. Rob says, feel free to pass those along, by the way. Rob says, bullshit. That's not being sexist. That's the truth. Tomato, you know? I don't think SP's coming over tonight, and I don't think I'm going over there. So my mouth hurts and I'm uncomfortable, and I'll probably go to bed early. And that sucks because we've got a new show now. I'm watching Better Call Saul for the second time through. She's watching it for the first time. When we have a show, man, I love that shit. Like we tried to go out Saturday night, and I don't want to say I'm old now, and I've got 3 kids, and I'm finally, you know, nice and happy in a relationship. I just going out for a couple of beers just seems pointless and gay. We got home, we grabbed some snacks, we went and we watched some Better Call Saul, and we fell asleep. It was magical. I loved it, and I look forward to tomorrow night when we're in bed watching Better Call Saul again. We got to figure out the housing thing. I told her that the other day, too. I'm like, we got to figure out this house, you know, my house, your house, my, you know. Cue the audience going, oh, here comes marriage number 3. Here we go. It's okay to miss someone. That's what she always says. She goes, it's okay to miss someone. It's a good thing. She goes, it's good for someone like you to miss someone once in a while. You need to learn how to live with that feeling. And I'm like, it's probably fair. I've been told that I can be impulsive sometimes. Can you believe that? All right, let's get into the Maduro thing. This is going to depress some of you. Papa Shop says he's old. Well, what? We went out for a beer at one bar. I'll give you something from this weekend. We went out for a beer, and I love running into fans. I do. I think it's awesome that we still have thousands and thousands of fans in this area, and that I still go places and fans say hello. I've always loved that part of the job. But there was one guy who was at the first bar we went to, and we sat at the bar, and it was not a very full place. We went to an Eagles club because we wanted to check out like an Eagles VFW Legion kind of thing. I like doing that from time to time. One of my favorite bars is still the VFW on Division. I love that place. Call it the club. Went to an Eagles club, and you can get the visual, you know, of an Eagles club. And we sat down, and they didn't have any beers I like, so I got a Bell's Two Hearted on tap. She got a Coors Light. And I'm sitting there, we're going to have this beer, and we've already decided we're going to go to the next place. And a guy sits down, he's a big fan. Aaron, how's it going? Hey, buddy, last time I saw you was a live thing at Waldo's Pizza you were doing. I'm like, holy shit. We're talking like 2016 steel toe at that point. Yeah, I even went to your wrestling matches, and I went to your boxing. So I'm like, thank you. I appreciate that. You need to become a member right now of the Eagles. I'm like, just trying to have a beer. And like, oh, it's only $45. Just become an Eagles member. I'm like, I'm good, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. And then he's got this friend with him, and his friend's a little weird, but he's a decent enough guy. And he's just like, he's like, yeah, when I saw you, you had a different wife, and it was before your divorce, and you had a different thing going on. And I'm like, God damn. I'm like, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And so you got to come here when I DJ on Tuesdays and Fridays. And I'm thinking to myself, who the fuck is going to an Eagles club on a Tuesday night to the point where they need a DJ? But all right, whatever. It was just a weird experience. Then we went to Pesties, and we had a beer there, and it just wasn't a vibe. We just sat down, we drank our beer, although I had a Stella Artois, and they have nice glasses with them. Shut up. And we were like, you want to go home? Yeah. And then we grabbed some snacks and went upstairs and got into bed. Gordy, of course, snuggled right in between the two of us, and we watched a shitload of Better Call Saul, and then in the morning we watched we watched more Better Call Saul. Landman was at night. We watched Landman that evening. So I think I'm just an old guy now. I think I'm just an old dude, and that's what I do. Red Fox Mad with $5 says, my dentist is an Asian man. Is Asian and a man. Women dentists are horrible. I like a white dentist. I like a white male dentist. Can't help it. Joey Caravello says, haha, snuggled. Gurmy says, eating in bed is trash behavior. No, it is. It is. You're right. And I shouldn't do it. And I could probably be back at 2:15 if I didn't eat in bed. You are absolutely right. Hey, Atomic Ray, thank you for the constant ball busting and the gifted membership. I appreciate it. You are the belle of the ball this evening, you and Wally World. By the way, Wally World now at 50. I think we got to put him in that top 5. Let's get back to that top 5. 50, oh, no. 50's going to kick out. No, it's going to kick out MN Gal. Red Fox Mad is at 49. Wally World is at 50. And now the 47th man. Oh, shit. I had it right. 47th man, Red Fox Mad at 49. There we go. There's your updated standings. Thank you, Wally World, for your generosity. 89 memberships away from 500. All right, let's do the thing that's going to break your heart if you're against all this Venezuela stuff like I am. I think it's, I think there would be a part of me that would respect how gangster this is. Like, one thing I respect about Israel is that they're gangster. What I don't respect about Israel is they try to pretend they're the victim and the good guy. If Israel went, we're gangsters, we want this land the way it was thousands and thousands and 6,000 years ago or whatever it was, and we're back and we got money and weapons and we're blackmailing the fuck out of people, and if you don't help us murder people, we're going to show people that you fuck kids or whatever. That's gangster. If they would say, we're gangsters, we are not apologetic about it, and we're coming for you. There's something about that I would respect. Now, the reason they don't do that is because the rest of the world would go, holy shit, these are murderous, psychopathic thugs. We're going to kill you before you can infect other people. And so instead they go, what? We are the victims of terrorism. It's not safe here. They want to drive us back into the sea. They cry out in pain as they strike you. So with this Venezuela thing, I'm worried that we've caught a little Talmudic behavior where we're like, what? The Venezuelans are putting fentanyl into our borders. Venezuela doesn't make or ship fentanyl. Well, they're part of narco-terrorism. There's no such thing as narco-terrorism. That's a word you made up. The Hezbollah. Hezbollah's never attacked the United States. It's not a problem for us. Like, if Israel would be gangster and the American government would be gangster and just go, look, we don't like this commie cunt bogarting all the oil. We want to let all of our oil companies in there to drill the shit out of this stuff. We want to extract a lot of Venezuelan wealth. We want to sell it to Russia and China for cheap so we can get a Ukraine peace deal done. And then we want to use a lot of that money, extort it out of Venezuela so we can pay off some of our debt. If we would just say that, I would be like, wow, you did that in 3 hours with minimal casualties and you just kidnapped their leader? That is fucking gangster. I don't need to be the good guy. I'm 39 years old. I know the country I live in isn't the good guy. I'm an adult. There is no good guy. It's everybody pursuing their self-interests and using shitloads of manipulation and violence and bribery. It's all a crooked game. The thing that made the United States look good was that we went up against one of the most evil countries in the history of the world in the USSR. And now they're not around anymore, so it looks like we got more evil. No, we're still the same amount of evil. We just need, we need to highlight that. Like, it would be great if we'd turn on Israel, because then we could go, you want to see evil? These motherfuckers are ruthless. You want to point out China, like they're eradicating Muslims by the thousands. It's ridiculous. Like, the Venezuela thing, I would be oddly more okay with if we would just say what it's for. It's the lies that bother me. I take it personal. Because it's what it is it's just insulting people's intelligence. So Harry Enton, the CNN numbers guy, the numbers, apparently getting rid of Maduro. I'll tell you one thing about Americans, man. We love to win. If we win, we're for it. He got the numbers of supporting ousting Maduro with the U.S. military before we did it and after we did it. And this is mildly depressing.
The U.S. military ousting Maduro. Pre-ousting, what you saw was the clear plurality of Americans opposed at 47%, just 21% support. Come over to this side of the screen. After the ousting, look at that. The support through the roof. Now we're talking about 37%, well within the margin of error right here of the opposition, 38%.
And okay, There's two reasons for this. One is because we won, and America loves a winner. And two, I think a lot of white people in this country hear the fentanyl thing, and they feel like it's Trump fighting for them. Trump's fighting for us in Appalachia. My cousin's OD'd on fentanyl. It's nice to see someone support white drug issues that those dirty lib commies ignore. And that works on them, even though they're fucking retarded, and this had nothing to do with that, and Venezuela doesn't export fentanyl. Now here, I want to say, if you want to go after the fentanyl, you got to invade Mexico and overthrow Claudia Sheinbaum. But I'm worried that they'll actually fucking do it.
Turns out Americans like what they deem to be successful foreign policy operations. And in this case, they view the ousting of Maduro, at least up to this point, as a successful one, and therefore the support way up.
Yeah, before...
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, that red, white, and blue. What can I tell you? So, and I think, honestly, I'll continue to be in the minority, and that number will continue to go up as the days go by. Again, like I said, people like a winner. They like it when the United States wins. And right now, when it comes to the Venezuela thing, we won. Sam Show loves Jewish dick. Says, narco-terrorism is absolutely a real thing, just not in this instance. Okay, maybe I'm splitting hairs here, but to me, what they call narco-terrorism is cartel gang violence. It's like saying the mafia was engaging in narco-terrorism or whatever that kind of terrorism would be. It's mob violence. That's what we used to call it. It's the mafia, it's the mob by another name. The Bloods and Crips were engaging in drug trafficking and gang violence, not narco-terrorism. We slap the word terrorism or Muslim on something, and it's easier to pitch to the American people as an enemy. I mean, if you want to say that narco-terrorism is a thing, which I don't, I think it's a bastardization of what it is. It's in Mexico. There was that guy. Watch the documentary on him. It's fantastic, and I think it's called Cartel. I don't think it's Cartel Land. I think that's something else. But it's this documentary on this guy who he was a doctor, and he started militias in Michoacan, Mexico, and he was fighting against the cartels. And they'd go into provinces armed to the teeth, and they'd wipe out the cartels, chase them out of the city, and then they'd set up these little militant groups that would help the city run, get back on its feet after the cartel was gone. And this guy, he was fucking people up. Like, he was running the cartel further to the south in Mexico. The problem was they framed this guy with the government was in with the cartel. They framed this guy on like firearms charges. They were getting him on trumped up charges. They also rigged one of his planes to crash. He lived, but they rigged one of his planes to crash. And then the cartels got into his organization, bribed their guys. They flipped to cartel guys, but they kept their militia name. They kept the brand. Basically, the cartel bought the branding, and it all went to shit. The guy I'm thinking of, fuck, I wish I could remember his name. There's a documentary about him and everything. He's fantastic. Who was the doctor in Michoacan who fought the cartel? Dr. Jose Manuel Morales. He was a physician who founded the Autodefensas, the self-defense groups, against the powerful Knights Templar cartel, leading citizens to take up arms to protect themselves from cartel violence. Oh, and was featured in the documentary. It was called Cartel Land. It's really good. Dr. Manuel Morales. Go watch it. I think it was made like 10 years ago. He died in 2020, and I think he died in either a medical facility or a jail cell. They did that guy really dirty. He died from COVID in 2020. He was arrested by the government for illegally possessing firearms, but was eventually freed. Yeah, but they rigged his plane to crash, and it fucked him up, and it crippled him a little bit. No, that guy's great. Manuel Morales, Cartel Land. Go watch it. They need guys like this. But gets that fucking money, man. It really is. That money, it'll wreck all of it. And the cartel has such an advantage with the dollars. And it's like, okay, we can come to your village, and if we win against you, we're going to cut off all of your family's heads, your children's heads, We're going to stuff their eyeballs in their mouth. Like, we're going to be fucking brutal. Or we'll neutralize you with cash and you work for us. It's really hard to blame people, you know, when you're like a poor lime farmer in fucking Mexico. It's hard to blame someone for taking the money, you know? Bapa Shab says, Jews need Venezuelan women on OnlyFans and more refugees. I'm like 90% serious. I know that the Trump administration, the day they got Maduro, they were talking about refugees from Venezuela. I'm really tired of seeing the same pattern play out when we get involved in these countries and nobody fucking noticing anything. And then we bring the refugees here so that we can shit on them and blame them for shit here, blame them for our problems, when really it's these fucking politicians and bankers that are debasing our currency. They're making things unaffordable. They're causing the inflation and the high home prices. And all we do is blame fucking Venezuelans and Mexicans and Somalis. Not that Somalis aren't a fucking problem in Minnesota. But they're not the reason houses are unaffordable. They're not the reason the currency sucks. They're not the reason we're $38 trillion in debt. They are a problem, but they're not the problem. So get ready, because we're going to terrorize Venezuela, and then we're going to say, oh, this place is really in the shitter. Better bring the people here. And then we're going to say, fucking Venezuelans don't understand how American works. They're ruining our country and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, the wealthy will extract oil from it. They'll make a killing. They'll get to operate with impunity because we'll be distracted by small brain shit. And then I'll get yelled at for noticing it. Oh, and also the Epstein files won't come out. Just thought you should know. 259 of you checking out the tote. Not bad. Definitely not as bad as last night. Thank you. We can do a little better. But beggars can't be choosy. So hit like, hit subscribe, hit follow. And thank you very much for the support. And keep those memberships coming. Holy shit. 88 memberships away from 500. You guys are the best. We've been talking about that Mickey Rourke thing. That took an interesting turn this morning. So if you haven't heard about the Mickey Rourke deal, and I'm a big Mickey Rourke. I'm sure not as many people care about this as I do. I'm going to try to fill you in on this as best I can so you can hopefully invest in it. Mickey Rourke, great actor, love him. The Wrestler is a great, probably in my top 20 movies of all time. Darren Aronofsky, solid flick. Well, Mickey Rourke, I don't know if he's having money troubles or not, but he's 51 grand behind in his rent at a home. Now, sometimes that happens with a lot of these, even if you have a lot of money, this will happen because of some payment oversight or something with your team. And you'll be like, holy shit, I'm 52 grand. Cut this fucking guy a check so I can live in my house. Or Mickey Rourke has fallen on hard times, which I hope isn't the case. But either way, this woman said, well, this friend of Mickey Rourke or friend. Now, remember, I said from Jump Street that I thought something smelled fishy here. This friend of his, she says, Mickey, I'll set you up a GoFundMe. We'll get your rent paid. She sets up a GoFundMe for $100,000. It just seemed weird. Cut to this morning, and Mickey Rourke is telling people publicly, I didn't authorize this person to start me a GoFundMe. I don't want this person to start me a GoFundMe. This is the latest on the Mickey Rourke rent saga.
This is Mickey Rourke. And something's come up that I'm really frustrated, confused, and I don't understand. Somebody set up some kind of foundation or fund for me to donate money, like charity, and that's not.
Why is Mickey Rourke starting to turn into Haley from Pretty Antisocial? It's troubling. Mickey Rourke's, he's old and a woman at the same time.
Me, okay? I'd rather if I needed money, I wouldn't ask for no charity. I'd rather stick a gun up my ass and pull the trigger.
I mean, that's one way to. I mean, that's going to take a while to bleed out, buddy. Are you sure you want to go from the asshole? Some people go temple. Some people go under the chin. Some people go mouth. The asshole is going to be a rough way to go, pal. Or would it? If you stick a gun up your asshole and pull the trigger, will that just come right up through the head? If it was Charlie Kirk, it would go into his ass and then fly around 50 different directions, boomerang back into his head, and they'd go, sounds like Tyler Robinson.
So whoever did this, I don't know if they did it why they did it. I don't understand.
Let your fucking dog out, Mick. Nothing worse than the sound of a dog crying and scratching the door. If Gordy does that, I'm like, I'm fucking up.
Understand it. I wouldn't know what a GoFund foundation is in a million years.
Yeah, see, that's exactly what I thought when this whole thing came on. Like, Mickey Rourke doesn't know anything about fucking GoFundMe. This bitch is taking advantage. I hope they all get a refund.
You know, my life is very simple. I don't go to outside sources like that. And yeah, it is embarrassing, but you know, I'm sure I'll get over it like anything else, everything else. Listen, I've done a really terrible job in managing my career. I wasn't very diplomatic. You know, I had to go to over 20 years of therapy to get over the damage that was done to me years ago, and I worked very hard to work through that, and I'm not that person anymore. Not that wild man that I was 20-something years ago. But you pay the price for your past. This thing is very embarrassing, and if you've given money, don't give any money, and if you gave money, get it back, whether you gave cash or check or however. There's only one person I can think of that would do such a thing, and I hope that it's not the person I'm thinking about, but it's humiliating. You know, if I needed money, and I did borrow some money from a really great friend of mine, but I would never ask strangers or fans or anybody for a nickel. I mean, that's not my style. I mean, you ask anybody that knows me, you know, it's humiliating, and it's really embarrassing.
Then how did he lose all of his money if he lives a very simple lifestyle? And like, because even in his second career, I mean, he had to have made good money. He was in the Iron Man 2 movie. He did The Wrestler. I mean, how much money did Mickey Rourke get for Iron Man 2? Was initially a lowball offer, $250,000, but increased significantly after negotiations. Though the exact final figure wasn't widely reported, he ultimately received a much better deal than his initial offer, leading to a successful renegotiation after his Oscar buzz for The Wrestler. So $500,000, he probably didn't even crack $1 million for Iron Man 2. That's fucking criminal. Boy, did they get Mickey for a steal. And The Wrestler was a small budget film. I bet you he didn't get a lot for that. How much did Mickey Rourke make for The Wrestler? 100 to 200 grand. Oh, fuck. Mickey Rourke lifetime earnings. Probably lower than you think. What would you think? I'm not going to look yet. What would you think Mickey Rourke's lifetime earnings were? I'm going to say, my immediate impulse is to say like, oh my God, he probably made like $75 million in his career. But he did a lot of like artsy pictures too. I'm going to say Mickey Rourke made $25 million in his career. Mickey Rourke's exact lifetime earnings aren't public, but his net worth is estimated around $5 million. Despite starring in The Wrestler, The Expendables, and The Immortals, which recent reports highlight financial struggles, including eviction notices, suggesting substantial earnings were offset by spending or career fluctuations. And they're going by the gross of the films he was in, but that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean that you're making that much money. Oh, that sucks, man. I hate that Mickey Rourke's going through trouble. Hopefully he does. Or as the cleaner writes so elegantly in the chat, as I go back to the chat, the cleaner hits enter on, what a fucking loser. What an asshole. Ian Brady says he has 10 chihuahuas and they have bad teeth. Gotta look out for those teeth, man. Gotta look out for those dog teeth. Brett McCart says, I tell my boss, you're not just getting a worker, you're getting a whole experience. And he paid me more. Attaboy. Attaboy. Angelica's doll, stop being jealous of my relationship. Stop being weird. I think the stories I've told are fun. I think they're lovely. I love my time. I fucking love just staying at home, watching a show, laying right next to my lady. Angelica's doll does not like the stories I told today. Honey, it's all right. Hey, if it makes you feel better, you never had a shot. I never considered it for a second. You probably love Better Call Saul. You probably like popcorners too. But it was never going to happen. All right? So don't get bitter. Don't get angry. Take that momentum you got right now. Bring it to Reddit. You guys can sulk together. Sorry. I need to be more likable and not be so mean to people. My lost interest says 500,000 lasts about 5 to 8 years in today's economy. He only gets 60% after taxes. Yeah, I mean, 500,000 is not 500,000 when we were growing up, obviously. And like, you're saying it lasts you 5 years? What is that? That's spending about $9,000 a month, right? 8 to 9 grand a month. You'd be surprised. If you got a family and shit in a house, that can go fast. That can go fast just living a normal lifestyle. Like, we're not talking $500,000 will last you 6 months to a year with a Hollywood lifestyle. $500,000 will last you 5 years living a middle class to upper middle class lifestyle. 500 grand will last you 5 years. That's it. 8 years, that's like blue collar, renting an apartment, whatever kind of thing. You need me more. They're turning on Angelica's doll. I like SP. She sounds down to earth and is the real deal. You know what she is? She's a smoking, beautiful woman who's also got a fucking normal, good, mature, decent, smart head on her shoulders. And I've never had those things combined before. And it's really, really nice. Really nice. Ian Brady says, SP sounds cool. She's fucking way cooler than any of us. End of Silence says, my overhead is $7,000. It's nothing. You see, exactly. You can spend $7,000 like that. Like that. Ian Brady says, Mickey Rourke went insane. Most pretty girls do. He does look like a pretty girl, though, for his age, doesn't he? I think that's what the whole thing with him and JoJo Siwa was. They might both be lesbians. Wait, didn't JoJo Siwa stop pretending to be bi? By the way, bi women. Is there anything more obnoxious on God's green earth than a bisexual woman? Ugh. You're not. You just starved for attention. That's all. Go home. Go talk to your parents. Talk to a therapist. Figure out where it all went wrong. Nobody should need that amount of attention. I'm bi. That stops being cute when you're old enough to legally drink. Knock it off. When you're in college and you guys can't go to the bars and hang out with other people, the 19, 20-year-old chick you're in college with going, oh my God, I'm so bi. Okay, I'll let you fall for that. You're young and you're stupid. But honestly, by the time you can legally purchase beer at a liquor store, shut the fuck up. It's so, no offense, it's so gay. End of Silence says, thanks, Wally. A commercial cut right off as you got it. Rumble ads are fucking unbearable. There you go. Gifted memberships make it so you don't have to watch ads on Rumble. Get End of Silence. He got one. He was talking about it. My Lost Interest says, I'm bi. Clip it. Speaking of memberships, we're 89 away from 500. I'm going to make a prediction an hour and change away from the end of tonight's show. I'm going to go ahead and say that we are not getting to 500 memberships tonight. You guys have been great, but I don't think we're getting there. This was so funny. I had to include this in tonight's show. Vivek Ramaswamy has quit all of his social media accounts after people mocked him online for being a, quote, stinky Indian. He is a stinky Indian, and he quit. Yeah, no, I don't know if you've been following this. Vivek Ramaswamy had, as the kids call it, a crash out. I'm too old to use that word, but he did. It fits in this case. Vivek Ramaswamy just crashed the fuck out. Wrote this big. He did that thing where he thinks social media is an airport and you have to announce your departure. I guarantee you nobody cares. Dude, John Cena's gone from wrestling and nobody gives a shit anymore. Nobody's going to care if you leave a chat room or a Twitter space. So this asshole with his fucking Jimmy Neutron haircut, goes online and goes, I'm not going to be on X anymore. You guys are all dumb and you're mean and I'm not playing your game. Fuck off. Bye. And he said he's not going to be on X or Twitter anymore. And everyone did the Curly Bill Brocious thing. They just went, okay, bye. And it's all because people have been shitting on him for being a Jeet, and they call him stinky, and they say he shits in rivers, and he shits in the street, and blah, blah, blah. And instead of being like every politician on earth, you know, this is something you can't teach about America, and Vivek Ramaswamy is becoming one of these really big-time cunt immigrant type people who act like they know what the American spirit is better than we do, and it's really fucking obnoxious. Because when the chips are down, they will always prove that they don't get it. We're on one level or another, we're fucking cowboys. That's our attitude. And if you call us stinky Indians, we go, I don't give a go fuck yourself. Like being an American, a lot of being an American is kind of being ugly and shitty and antisocial and having a lot of fuck you in you. Like not putting up with shit. Like being European is being polite and being regal and being white collar and powdered wigs. America is a lot more spitting chaw and telling people to go fuck themselves. All right? We may not be as thoughtful. We may not be as intellectual, but we do elbow grease and fuck your mother. That's what we do. So when Vivek Ramaswamy, who came out this week and said, you know, Americans don't really understand what makes themselves great. You know, I think maybe Americans should stop complaining about immigrants coming from India because we bring kind of a culture here that's very competitive with yours. It's like, oh, yeah, watch this, you Jeet street shitting fucking stinky Indian. And he goes, you can't call me a Jeet stinky street shitting Indian. That's not. And that's why our American culture will beat yours every time. There you go. That's right. Go program my computer through the tears in your eyes, you curry-slinging shitbag. And that's where Americans will always get you. The Chinese, you guys don't know how to be super competitive and get the results that will always make you number one. And you guys are crippled by social situations and you don't pick up on sarcasm. Fuck off, retard. I don't get any of that. Exactly. Move. Yes, there's going to be shit that Indians do better than us. But you know what we do better? Psychologically break people down. We're dead inside. 3 of our friends died in school shootings growing up. Fuck you. I'm sorry. So Vivek Ramaswamy, again, this is more of that cry bully shit. He talks shit to people. He tells America what's what and how they should really be. And then when we go, hey, how about go fuck yourself, you stinky Indian? He goes, it's so much bullying. I'm getting off social media. Good. We don't fucking need you. Again, not an airport. You don't need to announce your departure. I hate him. Vivek sucks. I hope he loses. I hope he ends up selling car warranties over the phone. He's running for, what is it, governor of Ohio, right? Yeah, fuck him. Get somebody else. We can, I honestly think I'd rather have Erica Kirk be the governor of Ohio than Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek is such a poser. Can't read that. Can't read that. Can't read that. Cleaner says that's so Ohio. Baba Shab says, tell us we aren't competent enough to compete in our own country and that we need millions of his stinky brethren. And that's just it. That's how America beats you in any competition. Because once you start to go, we're just smarter than you, we just call you a fag till you cry, and that's how we neutralize you. And then we go get the shit done. That's how America do. $1 from Professor Tie-Dye. He says, I realized how I know you in real life. It wasn't from being on the Blaine High School football or baseball teams. You used to hang out at the Source Comics and Games in Roseville, offering hand jobs for rare Magic the Gathering cards. I collected sports cards like a cool kid. Once we hit that certain number that I can't talk about, I'll go show you some of my best sports cards tonight. I will stop the show for a little while and I will show you that I only collected the cool cards and I know what you're saying, Aaron, you still have your cards? Yes, as a matter of fact, I bequeathed them, shut up, onto my son. And I said, buddy, I've been waiting for this day for a long time. I'm like, buddy, these are yours. I mean, we're talking Kevin Garnett rookie cards, Allen Iverson rookies, Kobe Bryant rookies. We're talking old Nolan Ryan cards and shit like that. I mean, really cool stuff. And I give them to him. And one day I find the books open and the pages folded. And I went, ah! And I quickly packed them all up and I put them back up in my closet up on the top shelf. I'm like, he's not ready. He can have his own cards, and he does, and he has his own cards, and I go through them with him, and I go, keep this one. And he's really, what's really awesome about my son now is he's 8 now. And, like, you can't make your kids get into sports. They come to it on their own, and now he wants to talk about sports now. I've been waiting for this. He'll be playing Madden or something. I'll be sitting there like, Dad, you want to play a game? I'll be like, yeah. And he'll talk to me about the different players on the teams. Like, he'll be like, I think he was the Rams one. He likes the Rams. And he goes, oh, Stafford is killing it this year. And I'm like, holy shit. I mean, like, this little person who looks exactly like me and, like, listens to me for advice, which is frightening, is fucking, we're bullshitting about sports. This little miniature version of myself, we're bullshitting about football. This fucking rules. Like, it was I don't think he enjoyed that conversation as much as I enjoyed that conversation. And him, God, what did he say? He goes, oh, yeah, they used to have Cooper Kupp, but he's washed now. I'm like, holy shit, Cooper Kupp is washed. It's like, I'm trying not to swear and shit. Oh, man. 09 Canyon says, I want Allen Iverson. Gimme. Does your husband know about this? But yes, keep gifting those memberships. We'll get there. I just got a notification from Venmo, and I was about to thank someone, and I saw $100, and I'm like, oh, shit, Red Boy, suck a dick. And it was just Venmo offers you a $100 bonus on some shit. And I was like, oh, boy, I was about to really start cheesing over here. My Lost Interest says, show us your Pokemon card collection, probably in sleeves and a plastic binder covered with stickers. No, but my best cards, I have like, my mom ran the Roseville High School kitchen for years and years. And she would bring back the containers that were these long rectangular boxes with covers that held the block cheese that they had at the school. And she would bring those home to me, and I put all my common cards in there, like the cards that weren't worth much. I would put those in there. They're in the crawl space somewhere, all my commons. But I got 2 big binders that are full of like the best of the best. Those are and then I've got like some collector's Justin Jefferson shit that are in a drawer somewhere in a case. I got some good shit. I do. Ian Brady says, that's very narcissistic, actually. Your son has value, whether he shares your hobbies or interests or not. Of course he does. Don't ruin this moment. I love my son. He's fantastic, but watching him take an interest in something and I didn't have to push it on him and he just wanted to and he wants me to help him with it, I feel useful. I'm a man who's getting useful or who's getting older, and my son finds me useful. I can teach him stuff about football. I love that. That's not narcissism, my friend. That's called bonding. Bonding, my friend. MSO says, I bet he has a Garbage Pail Kids collection and Teenage Mutant Ninja Hungarians with jobs. I don't have any of that stuff. I still have my sports cards. That's it. Ian Brady says, sorry. No, I'm sorry to you. I apologize. If my son liked ballet, I would support that too. It's just, it's weird the first time your kid shows an interest in something you have an interest in. It would suck if he did it because I made him do it. I would feel fucking terrible if that happened. But the fact that he was just like, Dad, I want to get into a flag football league. Sure, I'll help you out with that, kid. Dad, I want to talk football and stuff. I want to go get football cards. Fucking let's go. I'll tell him, I go, hey, you want to do like baseball or anything? Nah, I think I'm more into football. All right, that's cool. Motherfucker, if he became a left-handed pitcher, God, those are so rare. You can throw forever. No, Los Federales says, Aaron, is this the kind of baseball card you collected? No, I don't have the shirtless Jose Canseco card. But thank you for asking. That is not one that I have. By the way, thank you, Aboliticious, for gifting a membership. I appreciate that. 87 memberships away from 500. Thank you very, very much. All right, well, moving on from old Vivek Ramaswamy. Oh, here we go. Now, we're going to do this tomorrow, too, because instead of 297 checking out the toe. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit follow. Thank you. Instead of 300 people watching, we'll have 700 or 800 people watching tomorrow. So we will go over this again, but you guys are going to get the first genuine look at it. Tim Walz. 302. We surpassed 300 today. Thank you guys very much. There it is. On Root Canal Day. And you guys are making my root canal feel better, by the way, especially the way you're dropping these fives in memberships. Let's just say almost home. So Tim Walz had a press conference today where he finally decided to take questions. And there's really, Tim Walz announced that he wasn't going to be running for a third term. I personally don't think that's good enough. I think Tim Walz I think the Republicans ought to continue to hammer this Somali daycare fraud thing. I think they ought to continue to investigate, continue to bring people up on charges. Don't give up on this. And ultimately pressure it until Tim Walz doesn't finish his term. Because I do hate Tim Walz, don't get me wrong, especially for what he did during COVID. But I also think that we have a better chance of cleaning shit up in Minnesota and getting to the bottom of this fraud thing if he's not in the way, because I think he helped delay a lot of this stuff. Because, again, they are an important voting bloc, as the legislative auditor said. Same thing with Keith Ellison as Attorney General. As long as he's in there, I think you're going to, unless it's a federal beef, you're not going to get to see a lot of movement on this stuff. So Tim Walz gave a press conference today, and he really had two choices on how to handle this. Tim Walz could have said, hey, you know what? We fucked up here in Minnesota. Let's spend this next hour together talking about what you guys want to talk about, figuring out where we went wrong. Or, hear me out, or he could have gone Trump, fascist evil, January 6th. Guess which way he decided to go? Well, lucky you, we've got clips. Redbird with $1 says, you should share more precious, heartwarming moments with us. They definitely won't be shit on. Thank you. So far, you guys have actually been really nice about it. I appreciate that. Get Steel Toe Sucks a membership. We've got him seething tonight. I appreciate that. Wait a minute. I thought you guys said you were done in 2026. Fucking, you can't say no. You guys took the L in 2025 and you were going to run with your tail between your legs in 26. You couldn't stay away, could you? Fucking everything I say ends up coming true. And to think that I don't know every move you make before you make it, Steel Toe Sucks. Boy, do I fucking have you wrapped around this. You know what you are? You're this chip clip, sweetheart. Right there. All right, okay, that's enough. Don't pick on the guy. I've already put him in hell. All right, let's go to Tim Walz. This is him addressing. Now, yesterday he was supposed to do this. Yesterday he was supposed to announce he wasn't running for a third term. The media was under the impression that he was going to take questions. He didn't. They were pissed. So he gives it 24 hours thinking, what, we were going to kidnap another Latin American leader? Fat chance. Iran's next anyway. So he wants to talk about this paid family leave thing, which, by the way, first day of paid family leave, 12,000 people sign up for paid leave. You don't think there's any fraud going into that? How many of them were from Somali healthcare centers? Well, at any rate, I think he thought that because our media is so Walz friendly, and it is, because our media here in Minnesota is basically bought and paid for by the DFL, which it is, that he thought they would go easy on him because it's been a day. Well, whether or not they went easy on him is up to you. But no matter whether they went easy on him or not, he did not handle it well. This is clip 1 from old Timmy.
Their idea of improving this state is being a parrot for Donald Trump, agreeing to everything that he agreed with. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. It ain't happening. I'm not going anywhere. And you can make all your requests for me to resign over my dead body. Will that happen? I will fight this thing until the very end to make this state better. And the question that I think they need to decide is when did the guy in the White House resign? When does he take accountability for what he did? Because it isn't going to happen here in terms of us shying away from making this.
Enough. I will hear no more of this Hebrew nonsense.
So Tim Walz, again, every chance he gets, Trump, 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 Trump. I mean, this guy, talk about Trump derangement syndrome. I think he might be terminal at this point. Why are you asking me if I should just resign? Donald Trump's the one who should resign. Did Donald Trump preside over at least $8 billion in Somali fraud? By the way, we're going to get to this clip. This motherfucker won't even concede that there's billions of dollars in Somali fraud. He's in that much denial. He thinks that Trump's doing it to him. Forget that it's Joe Matthews, Joe Armstrong, Joe Thompson. That's what it is. I fucked up his name earlier, too. I had to Google it. Joe Thompson is the one doing these investigations. He's a very good prosecutor. He's doing a good job. And he knows that this shit runs deep. And our own government, people inside of our Health and Human Services here in Minnesota have been calling this out for 10 years, and they've been getting fired. So these guys knew. And it Trump, 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 Trump. And by the way, be very glad we dodged a fucking bullet with this guy not being vice president. He does not, and people use this word a lot and they overuse it. This guy does not have the temperament to be a leader. He probably doesn't have the temperament to be governor. Because, I mean, this guy, he's in front of a friendly media in a friendly state where probably half the state still likes him. And he's losing his fucking mind like he's Vivek Ramaswamy and somebody just called him a street shitting Jeet. I will resign over my dead body. I don't know. How about a few indictments? I bet you then you'll resign. And I would love if that's what it came to. And I'd make that deal, Udovich. If they came to us and said, we're going to charge Tim Walz with allowing this fraud, abetting, whatever the legal term would be, facilitating. Okay, cool. Obstruction of justice, whatever they end up charging him with. Cool. We will drop all these charges if he resigns. I'll take that deal. I just want him gone. He's a cancer on this state. So then somebody asked him about personal accountability. They asked him why he's resigning, and he said it was for personal accountability. Now, first of all, you can't wait until someone discovers all of your fraud and then say you're taking personal responsibility. I mean, that's like going into a store, stealing a television, bringing it home, mounting it on your wall, and then when the cops come to your house and go, that's a stolen TV on your wall, you go, look, I want to take accountability for the stolen TV. Let's small screen this. This is Tim Walz talking about accountability. Don't bring up Trump.
The good news is on this is that
look at him. He's all red like a tomato. He's Mater Walz. He's Tim Mater Walz.
I got no election to look forward to. I've been in front of you. I'll call on who I want to call on, and I'll watch what the press gets written, and we'll make sure that in this state there's full accountability for everybody, because I buck stops with me. I'm accountable for this, and because of that accountability, I'm not running for office again.
Is very obviously gay. I look at him and I'm like, well, you're gay.
I am taking full accountability of this. Now I'm going to be watching everything you write and everything you say, and I'm going to be watching everything you ask me. It's buck stops with me. You guys better not write anything bad. What a fucking dick. What a scared bitch. That's what he comes off as. See, male Democrats in Minnesota have this thing about masculinity where if they think they get mad, that equals masculinity. It's not. You can get really mad and still look like a bitch. He's getting really mad, and he still looks like a bitch. I call it being a dabbler. All right, I'm done picking on you guys, I promise. It's just that you're not supposed to know I'm saying this because you had admitted defeat and you said, I'm not going to see you in 2026. Liar. Liar. Another win for the toe. Hit the like button. All right, so this is the next Tim Walz clip we have. He's going to appeal to the ghost of Melissa Hortman the Minnesota politician who was shot in her home over the summer. You remember her? Crazy guy went to her house, claimed Tim Walz told him to do it. He's going to dig up her corpse rhetorically and use her as a shield and blame Donald Trump for more shit. This is a longer Walz clip. If you need a barf bag, I'll understand.
They're unwilling to stand with Melissa Hortman's children. And I want to tell you this, for those legislators who went and shed crocodile tears at her funeral, shame on you. Shame on you. Her children are asking you to do one thing in her name. It's to tell the president to stop doing this.
It's not their fucking responsibility. You think some podunk legislator in Minnesota is going to get to the White House and, Mr. Trump, please don't share a thing on Twitter about Melissa Hortman's killer. Trump retweeted something where the guy who killed Melissa Hortman said Tim Walz told him to do it or connected Tim Walz to it in some way. I mean, he was a Dayton and Walz appointee to different boards, so that's not untrue. But to act like that's somehow shitting on the legacy of Melissa Hortman, you're literally using a dead woman's body and her family to protect yourself from criticism. This is about you, motherfucker, allowing billions of dollars in Somali fraud, and you can't even bring yourself to say it. This is supposed to be you being contrite. I'm not running for a third term because the fraud's fucked up. But all these clips in this press conference so far have been you, Trump. God. Dude, you lost to him. It's fine.
That shouldn't be that difficult. So look, for Republicans here, I have more energy than I've ever had. I am committed.
I can tell by the redness in your face. You want to sit down and we can have that same nurse that performatively gave you that COVID vaccine? Do you want to have her put a cuff on your arm and take your blood pressure because you don't look well?
Committed to this state more than I've ever been. I love this state with every fiber of my being. I believe we are the best state.
Hey, Tim, sometimes when you love something, let it go. If it comes back, it's yours. If it's us, we ain't coming back.
Have I been perfect in this? God dang no.
God dang. Whoa, language, please. Jesus is watching.
I wasn't perfect as a teacher. I wasn't perfect as a coach. I wasn't perfect as a soldier, but I was pretty damn good at all those things.
I don't know. You're right. You did make mistakes as a soldier, particularly training all of your troops that were subordinate to you to go to Iraq and then quit on them as soon as it was time to go over there. I mean, some would say that was a real sketchy shitbag move.
And I am committed to getting this right. And I will tell you what, if they think now, I mean, game's over for them now. It was all me. I was the bad guy or whatever. Well, put up or shut up now and tell us what you're going to do to make this state better.
Oh, okay. Take all the Somalians who are here on expired visas or are here on temporary refugee status and kick them out of the fucking country. Oh, and if you're not a United States citizen and you're here from Somalia and you were part of this fraud thing, back to fucking Somalia you go. You and your whole family. Sayonara. There, that's my idea. This is what I hate about guys like Tim Walz. They go, well, tell us your ideas. And then if we tell you our idea and you don't like it, you act like it doesn't count. Whenever a guy goes, oh, yeah, opposition, tell me your idea, what he's really saying is, agree with me or I'm going to pretend you don't have an idea. My idea is make the evildoers pay. If they broke the law and they committed fraud and they're not citizens of this country, start the expulsion process. Get them the fuck out. We don't need people reaching in our back pocket, stealing it and giving half of it to fucking Somalia or Al-Shabaab.
Answer these tough questions. Quit hiding behind this.
Nobody's hiding. We all have our ideas. You just don't like them because you're a bitch. You're their bitch.
And expect for the next 11 months for me to ride you like you've never been ridden.
Ooh, who's what?
To make sure that you're doing your job. I'm asking for your help. We need data practices with the legislature right now. You need to expect to get every one of my emails just like you have when you ask for them. Every one of my commissioners, you should be able to ask for those, which you can do, and we need to do that.
And that's the end of that clip. I need to take a moment because we can all see him turning red and embarrassing himself. I need to say something publicly right now. It feels so nice to have this tooth not be sensitive to air and water and all the other elements that make up Captain Planet. It is so nice after just months of this tooth. Every time I'd smile a little bit and go, suck in air, go, oh, fuck. I told you guys this week, I told you yesterday, I said the minute this thing is drilled out and the root canal's done, I'm going to feel 1,000,000 times better. And before I took the Advil and I came down here, oh my God, was I sore. Like, it really fucking hurt. I got drilled out. But man, it feels so much better now. Now, like, until I make the appointment to get the crown put on, I don't think you're supposed to chew on the temporary filling. Can you chew on a temporary, what do they call it? Root canal filling. Yes, you can eat with a temporary filling after a root canal, but only soft foods. Chew on the opposite side and avoid hard, sticky, or chewy items like gum, candy, or chips. They can dislodge or damage the temporary filling, potentially leading to fracture or reinfection. Fuck. And always wait for numbness to wear off before eating. I didn't do that today. I had tomato soup. I was telling SP. She goes, "You're going to bite the shit out of your mouth." And I'm like, I know. It's a fat guy thing. I shouldn't have come right home and made a bowl of tomato soup, but I did. It's on me. It's on me. Sam Show Loves Jewish Dick said, no, they did say that, buddy. I'm sorry. They came into this very chat and they said that. I know that upsets you. I know that bothers you. Dude, I won. I can't help it. I enjoy my victories. I can't help it. Oh, he let about 10 million bucks get past him. 10 million? Try 10 billion. MSO says you had a fruit canal. It was not it's a root canal. Thank you. It's not a fruit. They don't call it a fruit canal. Thank you. Cleaner says, how the fuck are you chewing on tomato soup? Oh, I'm sorry. I dip bread into my tomatoes. I like to dip bread into my soups. Sometimes I'll go to the grocery store and I'll get artisan breads. None of this is making me sound less fat, is it? Or sometimes I'll just get something simple like a Tolero roll and I'll rip it like a medieval king and I'll dip that in my tomato soup and I'll eat that. So it's kind of soft, it's kind of mushy, but I chewed on the other side just to be sure. My Lost Interest says, pretty sure button cookies won't break the temporary filling. I switched to the brownie cookies today. And I did have one of those before the show. So I had tomato soup. Okay, so I didn't go with artisan bread today. What I did instead was you know I love you guys, right? Sam Show Loves Jewish Dick says, I was talking about the root canal. It feels good when you get it done, right? Yes, and it also feels good when I can declare victory over that online community known as the Dabbleverse. It's so sad to call it that. And they can say, we're leaving you behind in 2026. Yet they still show up and they can't let me go. Oh, victory tastes so sweet in broadcasting. I never lose. Another win for the toe. But yes, when the root canal is done, Sam Show Loves Jewish Dick, it feels fantastic. It really, I'm a brand new man. I saw the light. I've been baptized by the fire in your touch and the flame in your eyes. I'm born to love again. I'm a brand new man. All right, so here's what I did. Actually, Taste Fairy Iolto already nailed it. I took 2 hot dog buns. They're about to go bad. I couldn't let them go bad. I made brats. There were 8 hot dog buns. There were a package of 5 brats. So I took the hot dog bun. I took 2 hot dog buns with my tomato soup. Oh, God, I forgot to dress up my tomato soup, too. I do this thing where, like, I'll either get the tomato soup that comes in the carton, and it's tomato basil or it's spicy tomato or whatever. You put your own shit in it. Or sometimes I'll get Campbell's soup and I'll make it with milk and I'll put a bunch of spices in it and I'll dress it up and I'll sex it up. I forgot to sex up my tomato soup today. I just made it plain. So anyway, I'm not done yet. I took 2 hot dog buns and I opened them up and I took Kraft singles, ripped them in half and put them on either side of the hot dog buns. Put them in the microwave for 35 seconds and then folded them. And then I dipped those in the tomato soup and ate them.
Jews be Jewing. Niggas be niggaing.
That's what I did. That's what I did. And I just told that to Rumble Studio. What do you say? 309 people. MSO says, nailed it. Yep. I'm looking forward to eating something else after the show. The cleaner says, Jesus Christ, you're fat. Yeah, it's not a skinny thing. It's not a skinny thing that I did. I was out of crackers, man. If I can have saltine crackers, I crumple those up, put them in my tomato soup, wait for those to get nice and mushy. I like that texture. But if I don't have any, like I have oyster crackers, fucking oyster cracker in tomato soup. I got to have my saltines. Grocery day is Thursday or Friday. But yeah, bread will do in the meantime. Let's see. Gurmy says, wow. Pants Maestro says, nope. Satan's Mechanic says, Chef BRD right here. Goya. Papa Shop says, Goyam are disgusting creatures. Funknatius needs a membership. Get Funknatius a membership. He says, sounds like what I would do when I was 10. It's fair. I made a delicious lasagna from scratch. On Saturday, SP and I had some homemade lasagna, and then we went out for our 2 beers, and we came home and watched Better Call Saul. It was a wonderful day. Wonderful day. And then I brought the leftover lasagna to her house, and we all had lasagna on Sunday. Lasagna, one of those foods that's maybe better reheated than it is originally. You know? So I'll eat real food from time to time. I have a hard time cooking for just me. Like, that's kind of a faggy thing to do. Like, what are you going to do? Like, get out all your dishes and everything and, I'm going to make this from scratch and that, and I'm going to season it with this, and then you sit down with a plate and it's just you. Like, what a sad fucking divorced dad you are at that point. So I eat like a child instead when it's just me. Hulkamasha Baby says, you eat like the fattest kid at fat camp. Just whatever is laying around goes in your mouth. Bingo. Cleaner says, you sound like that one fat kid that would dip his bun in chocolate milk during school lunch. Satan's Mechanic says, 4-4 Ron has the diet of a diabetic third grader. My lost interest, who may or may not be my lawyer, says, stop talking, Aaron. Aaron, have you ever dunked a peanut butter sandwich in tomato soup? No, but I think what I might do someday is, in honor of Best Burger in Waite Park, rest in peace, I might grill a hamburger with peanut butter. I might make a peanut butter bacon burger in honor of Best Burger in Waite Park. Wally World says, how much for you to give up junk food? $100. And wait, let's define terms. For how long and what is junk food? I'll do it. I'll go to the grocery store tonight and get a shitload of grapes and apples and cherries and shit. I mean, what does $100 buy me? You throw this on, and don't do it all yourself. We gang up. They'd love to see me not eat junk food. What are we talking? What are the terms of the deal? You tell me what the terms of the deal are. We will discuss how much it would cost. Remember, when the audience asks me how much something costs, I always give them an answer. Junk food for how long and what constitutes it. We'll discuss. Because one could argue that a grilled cheese with tomato soup, which what I ate was a variation of, is not junk food. How much for you to give up junk food? Yeah, define terms, and I would say probably just $100. You'd be surprised. I go get a bag of lettuce tonight, make salads. Cleaner says that's so many carbs, you're going to kill SP. You know, sometimes I do purposely, like, push off a little bit because I'm like, I don't want to smother this poor woman. Pants Maestro says, yeah, that's what adults do. Goddamn right. Abletitious says, the last time I used a hot dog bun for anything other than a hot dog, I was in my 20s and high on weed. Dude, I have a freezer full of steaks, too. Like, from a cow. Like, that just came from the cow. They're wrapped in butcher's paper and everything. I got T-bones, sirloins, ribeye, and then straight hamburger. Like, I have so much. Like, every morning for the next 2 months, I could just take out fresh meat, put it on the stove, let it thaw, and make something nice every day. But I don't. I don't. Wally World says only home-cooked meals for a week. $100, you got it. I'll take a picture of every one of them. I will be accountable to my audience. No junk food. And I'm assuming like any snacking during the day has to be fruits and vegetables. That's fine. $100 in the next 10 minutes. If $100 comes in the next 10 minutes, you have my word. I will take photo evidence of everything I eat. I will post it to Towboys. I will post it to Twitter. I accept your challenge. This will be very good for me. And I think I'm playing it cheap at $100. So gift your memberships, PayPal, Venmo, Streamlabs, Super Chats. If it goes to 200, that's another week. If it goes to 300, it's a month. I'll make that deal. Who would have thought that the content I provided of me telling you my post-dentist meal would end up with such a challenge? The Pants Maestro says, for $100, you really don't eat anything that isn't from a gas station, do you? I made it tonight. I made lasagna. My Lost Interest says, you end the junk food fast when you hit 190. See, now that would be a good challenge outside of the money. The 190, though. I've been 190 before. My mother, I was in high school. My mom made me eat. She's like, you look like a ghost. You look sick. So I don't know if 190 is doable. Like at 19, I couldn't carry 190. I don't know if I can carry it at 20 years later. Papa Shop says the microwave hot dog bun and cheese was very dysgenic. Couldn't even toast the buns. Well, in my defense, I had a mouth that was all puffy from Novocaine. I didn't really feel like doing shit. And I could have just popped it in the air fryer or the Ninja. What do they call that? It's like an air fryer 7, the Ninja Foodie. I could have thrown it in there. Pants Maestro says, you have frozen beef in paper? That's freezer burned, dog. No, it's wrapped in, shut the fuck up. You don't know. The butcher, not the thin butcher paper, the heavy shit. You don't know meat. Stop it, Pants Maestro. You're embarrassing yourself. And you're trying to embarrass me. The cleaner says, I just blew $2,500 on rebuilding my water softener. Fuck that price. Dude, I hear you. There is nothing worse than having to spend your fun money on adult things. I hate it. I know some people who take it in stride. They're fine. They're like, I'm a grown up. This is what we do. But like every time something like that happens to me, I just think of what else I should have done with it. You know? My dad always said that too growing up. He was like, hey, always just be thankful that you can afford to do it because there's people that can't. You know, there's people that are a broken water heater away from the streets. And I've learned to be grateful after the tantrum. But that fucking tantrum, man, always, it's not fair, fucking piece of shit, blah, 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 blah. And then there's always a fix. There's always a fix. By the way, you guys aren't going to believe this. Not water softener, but I can fix a water heater. I have replaced the heating elements on water heaters before. Redbird says, how much for a 72-hour fast? Where I just drink water, or can I have bubblers and shit like that? That's such a fat guy question to ask. 72-hour fast. Are those okay? Can you do a 72-hour? I thought you not while. Why did it finish up with while breastfeed? Look what it did. Look at my Google search. Can you do a 72-hour fast? That's all I wrote. And then it auto finished with while breastfeeding. What the fuck? Longer periods without food, 24, 36, 48, and 72-hour fasting periods are not necessarily better for you and may be dangerous. Going too long without eating might actually encourage your body to start storing more fat in response to starvation. Aw, shit. That's how you get distended African kid belly, believe it or not. So, yes, all right, that's the deal. Start the clock right now, 10 minutes. If a hundo comes in the next 10 minutes, we will go from today to next Tuesday. We'll break our junk food fast during the Tuesday evening show. $100 comes in. I got to go to the store and get a shitload of fruit. How's that work? You know, the Venmo, PayPal, Streamlabs, Rumble Rants, memberships, the whole deal. Super chats. Red Fox Mad with $1 says gas hot water heaters are better than the electric ones. All right, now I have to come clean. I fixed the heating elements on electric water heaters. It's not as impressive. The cleaner caught me. He said, wow, you unscrewed 2 heater coils on the front of the heater. Well, in fairness, you have to use you have to go to the hardware store if you don't have the universal joint thing. What do they call that? What's that thing called? The circle thing that I put on it's a certain kind of wrench, right? What's that thing called? Not an industrial wrench. It's like a socket thing, and I put it over the coil and I turn it like I'm opening the book of Hymenoptera. What the fuck is that thing called? What is the wrench I use on my water heater? What the fuck is that thing called? Water heater, an element wrench? Is that what I'm thinking of? Is it
An element wrench is designed to remove and install the standard 1.5-inch screw-in elements on an electric water heater.
Yeah, it's an element wrench. That's what I was thinking. Element wrench. LMNOP wrench. $2. Now we're $98 away from the junk food fast. Redbird says water, salt, electrolytes make it 48 hours. No, an element wrench is what I was thinking. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I'm going to say, Wally World, I think you're the only one who wants that fast. I got to be honest with you, buddy. It doesn't seem like a selling point for many more people in the steel toe universe. All right, let's go to, I think we have more Tim Walz clips. I interrupted the Tim Walz clips to tell you about my my tomato soup. Red Fox Mad with $5 says, Aaron, have you replaced the water heater anode rod in your water heater? First of all, don't say hot water heater. I hate that phrase. There's no such thing as a hot water heater. If it's hot water, it doesn't need to be heated. It is just a water water heater. But no, I've never put my rod in my water heater. Satan's Mechanic said, did the tank drain into the carpet? No, we hooked it up to the drain in the utility room. There was a drain there, and we just let it go into the drain. MSO says, if you change the element, then yes, you need an element wrench. Fuck off. My Lost Interest says, but won't the button cookies go bad in a week? We all know no one else is eating them. First of all, SP had a button cookie last night. That's what she calls my dick. Gross. One thing I have learned from my last relationship is that nobody wants to hear a guy doing a podcast talk about fucking dude. It's so gay. It's so lame. It's such a junior high thing to do. So I always gross myself out when I do shit like that, but it just means I'm getting better. No, she had one of the button cookies. And you know what, my Lost Interest? I'm not going to tell you what I was about to say, but let's see if you can figure out what I was about to tell you about the button cookies. Oh, and the brownie cookies before I interrupted myself. Why don't you try to guess what I was going to say? All right, so now we have 6 minutes left in the, what are we calling this? The Aaron No Junk Food fundraiser challenge. We're $93 away from it happening. Atomic Ray says you need hard water to erode the water heater rod. Aaron's water is soft, nice and soft. They call my water Soft Weekly. The Cleaner says if you fold your balls over your dick, it looks like a cookie. Guys, give me a second. Hold on a second. Carry the one. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. My Lost Interest says they're gone already, aren't they? They are. I would like to tell you that I had 2 brownie cookies yesterday and 2 brownie cookies today, but I believe there were 5 brownie cookies. No, there were 4 in each. They were a 4-pack each. So I had 2 yesterday. I had 2 today. I had a button cookie yesterday, a button cookie today. Technically, unless SP had a button cookie last night and a button cookie this morning, yeah, I think they're all gone. They're all gone. All the cookies are. And you might ask yourself, Aaron, I wasn't listening yesterday. When did you get the button cookies and the brownie cookies? I got them yesterday. Thank you. The cleaner says I was laughing at him doing the math. I know, I'm a funny guy. Thanks, guys. I'm not allowed to say anything for another 23 minutes, but we're almost home, so finish her up. What do you say? Let's get to the rest of these Tim Walz clips. I don't think I'm going to have to do the junk food fast. There's 4 minutes left. Wally World, I'm sorry, but it looked like the rest of the audience didn't give a shit, which kind of makes me happy because I was going to have to take pictures of all my food like a douche to hold myself accountable, and tweeting pictures of your food is like the gayest thing you can do. All right, this is, we got another Tim Walz clip here while you guys gift a shitload of memberships. He was asked about why he was dropping out of the 2026 governor's race, and this motherfucker somehow made this about January 6th. I mean, goddamn, it's impressive to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, our soon-to-be ex-governor, Tim Walz.
Campaign by yourself, or did you receive pressure from Democratic allies?
Let me answer that first. He went to meet with Amy Klobuchar, who's the most popular Minnesota politician based on the polling in the state. She's a United States senator, and he met with her first. What's going to happen is Amy Klobuchar is going to run for governor. Peggy Flanagan, the lieutenant governor, is running for Tina Smith's Senate seat, which is open this year. And then in 2 years, Amy Klobuchar's Senate seat will be up, and they think that Tim Walz will be rehabbed by then, and he's going to run for that Senate seat. God help us.
This is a decision that I make and make with my family, and certainly I think, as I said, it's the right decision. I'll note, I think it's appropriate we're here today. The war that's being waged against Minnesota, you're seeing it. We have a ridiculous surge of apparently 2,000 people not coordinating with us that are for a show of the cameras.
He's talking about the 2,000 ICE people. We'll talk about this tomorrow. The biggest operation in ICE history is currently underway in Minnesota. 2,000 ICE agents are here, and they've already arrested people who have warrants out for murder. These are the people Tim Walz is protecting in this state. And he's like, they're not coordinating with us. That's because you fuckers already came out and said that if they try to coordinate with you, you're going to tell everybody they're coming. Of course they're not going to coordinate with you. The police chief in Minneapolis, your bought and paid for bitch boy O'Hara, has already said, we side with our Somali community. We're not going to cooperate with ICE. They would be retarded to cooperate with you. So don't sit there and play victim and go, we have 2,000 people who are not even coordinating with us. That's because it's a federal beef, bitch. Just like this fraud thing became a federal beef because you guys wouldn't stamp it out. You wouldn't choke this thing out in its crib, and now it's a federal problem. You didn't deal with it. Now the Trump administration's going to deal with it. Deal with it.
I'm going to note to all of you, today is January 6th. There's no debate what happened. The President of the United States led an insurrection against a fair election to try and overturn that and, report both sides of this. Well, he said he really didn't, and courts convicted 400 of them, and he pardoned them. No, he did that. He did that, and that's today. And it's clear that we also saw today he implemented 5 states are being punished with a freezing of federal funds illegally that were appropriated by Congress, our tax.
Hey, Tim Walz, why did you decide to drop out of the governor's race? Today's January 6th, and, 5 years ago, there was a thing that happened with Trump, and Trump did the thing with the Trump, and Trump's got 2,000 people here, and Trump's not talking to me. Jesus Christ, like out of the 4 clips we've shown you so far, I believe he's talked about Trump in 3 of them. He's, as I believe Husey would say, he's a right cunt. Oh my God. Wally World gifting a membership. Thank you very much. We've got 1 minute left in the rally for the end of junk food, but we're not going to get there, my boys and girls. Yankee got that membership. Jr with $1 says, are they still doing that show about you? I don't know. I never hear anything about it. It doesn't make any noise anymore. I'm pretty sure they buy bots for it. They're in a weird spot because there's no content for it. But at the same time, I've gotten in their head so bad that those autists, honestly, they honest to God believe if they've kind of got a sunk cost fallacy going on right now where they're like, if we quit, Aaron wins. Well, if you keep doing it, Aaron wins too. The problem is I'm in your head so bad, you don't realize it's already over and that I'm controlling what you do. I mean, no offense, boys. I'm not playing with the biggest brains in the school. But I'm pretty sure you know that. 86 memberships away from 500. Thank you for gifting that one, Wally World. That's very nice of you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think with Tim Walz's press conference here today, I don't think he really did himself any favors. I think we've got one more clip of old Timmy, Terrible Tim, and I'll give you a hint. I don't think he's going to make this statement just about him and just about Minnesota. Ladies and gentlemen, our final Tim Walz clip we have for tonight. Thank you very much. Hey, just a few more of those memberships, just a few more of those super chats and Rumble rants. And I would say that tonight has been a massive success. Thank you so much. Keep it going.
Having to spend any time worrying about the politics of this. I'm going to fight it, making sure that Minnesotans are cared for. I'm going to fight it by doing the respect that we should have for rule of law. So I just think all of you see this.
Honest to God, the guy's on the side of the fraudsters. That's the biggest problem that we have. He is on the side of the people committing the fraud. He honestly thinks the problem is these prosecutors and these investigators coming in and finding out how much money they stole. Like, he wants to talk about January 6th, but we can't work with this fucking guy because he won't accept reality. He honestly might think that these Somalis are just, oh, shucks, they're victims. I mean, always fucking victims everywhere they go. It's never them. They're just victims, and we're all just racist bullies, and we're just acting on Donald Trump's wishes. It's like, no, we don't like all of our hard-earned tax dollars going to them when they don't belong here in the first place. We brought them over here because we feel sorry for them. They clearly can't keep up with a first-world economy. They beg, borrow, and steal. And then they give a big portion of that back to Somalia. So I pay my taxes to you guys. You give it to these guys fraudulently, and then they send it, fare thee well, over the ocean to a third-world shithole where terrorist groups can get a hold of it. So, yeah, I'm sorry, Tim. We're allowed to be pissed off. This isn't your perspective versus our perspective. Your perspective failed. You're wrong. So here's the deal, Tim. This isn't like, hey, either lead, follow, or get out of the way. No, Tim. You had that chance, all right? You got run the fuck over. So either get with getting this fraud done, getting this fraud exposed, or get the fuck out of the way and let the big boys do it. ICE is there because you wouldn't be a leader. Joe Thompson is there because you wouldn't be a leader.
It is just going to be relentless. Why 2,000 folks? What are they coming? Do they want to coordinate with us?
They've already found a Honduran wanted for murder, so stop. Day one, they found a Honduran in plain sight wanted for murder and many others.
You saw a U.S. attorney stand up, which would have been let go by any other administration.
Joe Thompson.
Speculating about things with no factual information. That's defamation.
No, it's not defamation. He's been digging through the fucking books in this state, and he's found at least $1 billion in fraud. He believes that at least half the fraud dollars so far are fraudulent. That's not defamation, you whiny bitch. They've got your number. He's a guilty man, and he's hiding something. I mean, he's hiding this whole thing. He's letting on too much. He's letting us know that he knows more than we even think he knows because he is acting really scared.
That's coming from the attorney. We are under assault like no other time in our state's history.
Thank God the adults are coming to the room to fix what's wrong. Shithead, you lost a $17 billion surplus. I would like somebody to come in here. If that's what under attack means, that someone's coming to figure out what the fuck happened, then please attack Minnesota.
Because of a petty, vile administration that doesn't care about
it's Trump.
The well-being of Minnesotans. My job is to protect the well-being of Minnesotans. So the good news.
I feel a lot more, and look, I have my problems with Donald Trump, believe me. I feel more protected by Donald Trump and what he's doing with Minnesota than with you.
on this is Republicans are sure they're going to lose the governor's race dramatically. That's fine by me. I don't care who sits in this seat as long as it's not one of them who hurt Minnesotans. I care that it's somebody who understands and respects this office.
Hurt Minnesotan. He doesn't see us, the people who have lived here our whole lives, as Minnesotans. He doesn't. We're interlopers. We're occupiers. He sees third worlders who don't belong here, who he brought here as part of a voting scam and let them steal from us. Excuse me. He sees them as the real Minnesotans. And we're all just shitheads. Excuse me. I apologize. It's the root canal. I'm kidding. Root canals don't make you cough. Gay sex does, boys and girls. Thank you very much to Jahar with $1. He says it's like hiring Moody to investigate the Onion. He might be the most mentally damaged autist I've seen on the internet. Well, maybe him and that Buckman guy. I mean, imagine that being your life. Oh, that's a private hell right there. Thank you guys very much. Let's fire up. Let's do it. Let's keep crushing it. Thank you, you guys. Thank you for being here tonight after my root canal and everything. 321 checking out the toe at the moment. I love that. Thank you for rebounding from last night. That is very much appreciated. We got about 12 minutes before we have to rally. We can probably get a couple of stories in. I will ask you just a little bit more of a push. I'm not going to say anything for another 12 minutes, but I'm hoping not to get to that 12 minutes. It's that dangerously close. So memberships, Rumble Rants, Super Chats, whatever you want to do. I appreciate it. If you've liked the show tonight, if you've liked our coverage, feel free to throw a little something in the offering plate. All right, let's do this. This story is out. Oh, this is Philly. Oh, I want you to tell me if you're buying this story or if you think there's some wackiness going on. Because like in my time in media and my time doing a show, I've seen too many of these like hate speech, vandalism stories that end up being hoaxes. And like the bigger they are in a local community, the sooner we find out that it was somebody of that group that did the thing. Like, oh, there was a racist message with the N-word on the football field. And then they find out, they get the cameras, it was like 3 black kids. Or like, oh, there was a swastika painted and it was a Jewish kid or something. Like, I have a hard time buying these because so many people have faked these in the past, especially high school kids looking for attention and trying to score woke points. Here we go.
We begin with a school community working to paint a picture of unity in response to hateful messages discovered over the weekend.
Yeah, leaders at Roxborough High School say vandals drew racist and anti-Semitic graffiti on the building. Crews quickly worked to clean it all up. The images replaced.
This is what I hate about these stories. All I want to know is what it said. Like, what was, all right, it were racist and anti-Semitic messages. Ooh, can I be the judge? What were the messages? What did they say? Ballpark it for me.
Positive messages just in time to greet students before the start of class.
They wrote and shot. Rocks, wolves belong
is
here.
Live outside Roxborough High School with more on how the school is responding. Cheyenne.
Oh, they just love Jews, Amy.
Christy, while being greeted by hateful messages is just not the way that any student should return to school.
Of course not.
So to make sure that did not happen today, the community came together after someone drew racist and anti-Semitic graffiti here at Roxborough High School.
Here we are now, 2026. We're still experiencing these things. Students shouldn't have to go through this.
The community is...
not in current year. We shouldn't be having these problems in current year. The year it is means that people shouldn't be irrationally, retardedly hateful.
Together to condemn hate after racist and anti-Semitic graffiti such as swastikas was found at...
Such as what? One more time, sweetheart. Let's nail that.
Anti-Semitic graffiti such as swastikas was...
Swastikas. That sounds like a kind of popsicle, doesn't it? Oh, man, it's so hot out today. I could go for a swastika. How about you? What do you want? You want like a bomb pop swastika? That's really the only kind of swastika there is.
Anti-Semitic graffiti such as swastikas was found at Roxborough.
A swastika sounds cute. Like my Nazi coin that I have. It's got a swastika on it. That doesn't sound as evil.
School this weekend.
Yesterday was a day
Sure.
especially coming back from off of a break. But instantly,
Yeah, she would have been fine with the racism if it would have happened on like a Friday and then you turn right back around, you come back to work on Monday. But, you know, you kicked up your heels, you enjoyed yourself for 2 weeks, and then a swastika? That's not a good time for a swastika. Right around Hakana.
energized when I see their faces.
Following the hateful discovery.
I don't buy this. I think this is some kind of hoax job, because why would a school full of black kids like put anti-Jewish shit on the door? This is somebody's fucking around. This is a black kid did this.
The school's principal invited families to write messages of love, inclusion, and belonging on the sidewalks to welcome students
which
back
is fine.
to the building.
I mean, high school kids should definitely revert back to grade school and write in sidewalk chalk. That's totally fine.
Love wins every single time, and we are here to show everyone that we are here, and we're going to show up every time for them, and that hate has no place here.
Today, alum Sarah.
Go tell the people in the Gaza Strip that love always wins. Cruise missiles always win is what I've found.
Nathaniel stopped by to write her own messages to students.
Love
she also
equals
is
love.
a teacher at a nearby school.
I actually took the opportunity to teach my kids about hate speech and just things of that nature and how it can be so
I wrote some of my dad exhibits lyrics on the wall.
close to home.
And although the graffiti was removed quickly, David Matthew knows far too well how the stain remains.
Coming up in the 70s, in my high school and 80s years, I experienced stuff like this. I was in a segregated bus program.
Bro, it looks like everyone at this school is black. And if this school has such a large black population, do you really think there's a white kid in the minority ballsy enough to do something like this? I don't know. This one's already got me scratching my head.
Where I face these type of statements on a regular.
We just got to show more love. And once we show
That's
more
true.
love, we'll eliminate the hate.
That's a good point. And cruise missiles.
And the district's Office of School Safety as well as Philadelphia Police are investigating, but at this time, no suspects have been identified.
There's got to be that looks busy as shit. There's got to be cameras all over the place. You'll find who did it. I'll keep an eye on this story for you guys. I'll follow this one because they'll find out who did it and they will report to us who did it if it's a legit story. If it turns out that a black student did it or it was some kind of inside job sort of deal, like a lot of these end up being, you will not hear a follow-up on this. They stopped. I noticed that they stopped reporting like the updates to these stories when they end up being the inside jobs. Oh, by the way, Beluzier becoming a member for 43 months on YouTube says, bits and subs, have you talked to Gino and Kiki? Haven't heard about them in a while. Kiki on an evening show. Professionally, we're not really working together at the moment. I text them from time to time, but publicly, we won't be working together. I don't think. Bro needs a membership. Let's get Bro a membership. He says based coin. You don't know about my my Nazi harvest coin? Yeah, I have that one. And then I have this little guy. I almost said this little goy. That works too. I do have American coins from that era, British coins. I have some Mexican coins from the 30s and 40s. I got a coin collection like a gay. Red Fox Mad with another $5 says, I hope the Republicans can switch our flag back to the original Minnesota flag. The new one is ugly, just like Hope Walz. Oh, so ugly. Aaron would still bang her. That's not nice. Grad Poobah with $1 says, on a school night, no less. That's true. They did it on a school night. And by God, that's unforgivable. Guys, you are tantalizingly close to getting home. I would really like to not do that thing in 5 minutes, and it's such a small number that I don't think it'll be necessary tonight. I did drop the number, though, because I had a root canal, and I don't believe in, asking for a bunch of money after you had an expensive thing done. I hate it when streamers do that. Also, I knew that I would be in a little bit of pain tonight, so I may not have been 100%, although you guys did get us over 300, which I appreciate. I wanted to make sure it was lower in case I wasn't, up to my peak performance, if you will. Oh, thank you very much, Aboliticious, for gifting a membership. We're 85 memberships away from 500. And we're even closer to not having to do that thing in 4 minutes. Very closer, shall we say. 3:30. Thank you very much. Boy, it ain't going down. Thank you very much. Wally World gifting a membership. Thank you very much. Let's just say a couple, 2, 3 more of those, and I'd say we're good. You guys might even go over a little bit for and get close to what it would have been. You generous bitches. Ian Brady says, bravo for streaming after the Root Canal. It actually, I don't know if it's the 4 Advil I took before the show or if it's hanging out with you guys. I hope you enjoyed the show. I've had fun doing it. But I do feel a lot better since doing the show. I do want to play this one more clip, seeing as we're close to home and we may not need much of a song to get there. Donald Trump, we're going to play a few more of these clips tomorrow. In fact, I may replay this one on the morning show tomorrow because they may want to see this. We've been talking to you guys about Minnesota's voter vouching system, where you can go in and literally just vouch for someone in Minnesota and say, oh yeah, they live at this address, and you get a ballot and you can vote. It's fucking insane. So you can tell Donald Trump has had Minnesota on the mind because he talked about voter ID today at a little event he hosted. Let's listen to some of that.
You ought to have voter ID. You ought to insist on it.
Like, I paid money and I switched out this voter ID thing, this real ID, so I could fly. Why not just have everyone use the real ID to vote? It's a simple system.
Can you imagine? In California, they not only don't have voter ID, but if an official at the voting booths, which they don't have, by the way, because it's all mail, if an official, a voting official, even asks somebody for voter ID, sir, would like to see your identification. Do you come from our country? They put him in jail for tampering with the election.
They don't put him in jail in Minnesota, but they don't let you ask people for their ID at the voting booth in Minnesota. It's not allowed.
It's more corrupt than any place. California is more corrupt than Minnesota. And I won Minnesota. Well, Tom's going, I think so. Well, it's close. It can't be proportionately, probably nothing's more corrupt, right? Yeah,
he's talking to Tom Emmer, congressman from this area here in Minnesota. He's my That's my congressman, Tom Emmer.
Those elections are corrupt. They got you one time too.
They did.
I heard.
They did get Tom Emmer
a long time ago, but
he lost by like hundreds of votes.
But we have to have voter ID.
They found ballots in trunks.
When you confront a Democrat about voter ID, like in a debate or something, I said it a couple of times with Biden, and they're very embarrassed when they say, we want voter ID, voter identification. The only reason somebody doesn't want that is because they want to cheat. Our elections are crooked as hell. And you can not only win elections over that, and not only win future elections, but you'll win every debate because the public is really angry about it. And
they're behind it. The public is behind voter ID. And, this is the Trump I like. When it's not foreign policy and when he's not trying to pay back Miriam Adelson and the Ellison family, and he's not doing the Zionist bidding overseas, I still like this guy. Like, he can still deliver us banger after banger, like Seamus. But that foreign policy stuff is really fucking hard to get behind, man. That's all. It's really hard. No Pen gifting a membership. Thank you very much. Yankee gifting a membership. What do you guys say? One more membership before we get out of here tonight? What do you think? I will tell you this. We have great news. We don't have to play the rally music tonight, so we just get to enjoy. We just get to enjoy the last 5 minutes of the show. But if we get one more of those memberships, two more of those memberships, if we can get it down to an even 80 memberships away from 500 by the end of the night, I tell you what, I'm going to be tickled by the whole goddamn thing. So how about it? 2 more in honor of the Root Canal, 2 more gifted memberships, and we got this thing. So I got to give Wally World's got another 5 on his total. That's going to put Wally World at 60, even with Lab Glass. And Red Fox Mad gave another $5, so he's at 54. Boy, we got a hell of a top 5 right now. Main Vein in first at 126. Steven in second with 100. Lab Glass in third with 60. Wally World in fourth with 60. And the 47th man is Red Fox Mad in fifth. I also took $100 off the I cut the VIP packages this week in half because this morning, in order to hit the G word, which we don't have to talk about tonight, which is great, thank you. He did say, if you give me a half price VIP, I'll do it. And he did. I sold my soul. So VIPs are half price this week. You get all of our hoodies, t-shirts, coffee mugs, and the winter cap that we have on the Streamlabs store, Streamlabs Steel Toe Show. And you get 2 free tickets to every live event we do, which I think we're going to do 2 live events this year. And then also you get to claim a free item every year after that. So I appreciate it. Let's do 2 more of those memberships, make it an even 80 before we leave tonight. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here this evening. And thank you for knocking out that G word. It makes my root canal feel so much better. Meow Meow says I have to get my hair did before I get my ID. You see, I'm not a lady and my hair's falling out, so I don't have to worry about such things. I don't have to worry about it. Papa Shab says only Somalis should be allowed to vote. What if I agree to vote Democrat and I can get a Somali to vouch for me in Minnesota that I'm Somali? No Pen 15 Fathead says I'm a VIP. When do I get to claim my free VIP item? Whenever you email me or DM me or whatever. We send them out on Fridays. So feel free to claim your item. May I recommend the mug or the hat? They're both awesome. Wally World says, how much is half price VIP? Good question. $125. They're usually $250. $125 in a week gets you our new VIP. And it expires at the end of Friday's show. But I figure if I offer it to one person, I have to offer it to everyone for that week. I can't shut the door behind me. So again, thank you guys.
Is this the
very,
post?
very much. Oh, this is Sam Show or somebody wanted me to play this before the end of the show tonight. It's an Asmund Gold
Is this
clip.
the post that I was trying to find here? So Trump is up there and he is doing what he does. Is that right?
When you have policy so bad, when you have policy with men and women's sports, and she gets up and my wife, by the way, my wife hates when I do this. She said, she's a very classy person, right? She said, it's so unpresidential.
This is the president is on stage complaining about his wife.
I said, but I did become president. She hates when I dance. I said, everybody wants me to dance. Darling, it's not presidential. She actually said, could you imagine FDR dancing? She said that to me.
Oh my God.
He kind of threw Melania under the bus on that one.
No.
There's a long history that perhaps she doesn't know, but he wouldn't be doing this.
That's a cripple joke?
But she says, darling, please, the weightlifting is terrible. And I have to say this, the dancing they really like. She said they don't like it, they're just being nice to you. I said, that's not right. The place goes crazy. They're screaming, dance, please. But the weightlifting, but no, the girl gets up. And you see, I want to be more, but I have somebody watching. I want to be more effusive. I want to really,
I'm telling you, there are likable things about the guy still. And also, Melania seems awesome because she seems to really care about him. She's like, I don't want you to make an asshole out of yourself. I like that. I like Melania. But let's not, do we really, we're going hard in the paint on the cripple bashing for FDR. Well, guys, thank you very much. I appreciate you being here tonight. You knocked it out. We've got one more night of evening shows to go. Let's crush that one tomorrow. Thank you so much for your time and your energy and your memberships and all the great things you do for the toe. We will talk to you again tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. I'll pop some Advil. I'm sure my tooth will feel better than it's felt in months. I'm excited about that. Guys, take it easy. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you again soon. Hit like and follow and subscribe.